Hello everyone. Oh jeez, knock the mic. Welcome back to Fallout 4/76 where the controller isn't working. Excuse me. There we go. It's a beautiful day outside. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and on days like these, kids like Todd Howard should be burning in hell for telling lies. Lots of big fat porkies. So yes, this is Fallout 4 by committee, the stream. Of course it's not on stream. God damn, of course it's not on stream, nor is it by committee at this current moment. Because in the last episode we talked about a magical place. Shut up. We talked about a magical place where we can learn that there are infinite worlds, boundless potentials within our own self, and it's on some island far, far off in the distance. And we're going to go there today and learn about this. That's the story reason anyway, and the way that it'll end will tie in to 76. So if you're watching this like, where's the 76 stuff? There's a twofold. This ends how 76 begins, because there'll be a little bit of editing magic at the end, but this is also the second part. If you watch the last part, there is me and Crystal talking about our expectations, how it's going to be such a good game, how it's going to be amazing, and all these amazing things that we can know and find out about ourselves, and it's going to be great, like all the Raider stuff. You get the idea. And that was before we knew everything, because in that last episode we talked about raiding, and if you could raid, what could you raid, how would raiding work, PvP areas, non-PvP areas, you know, you get all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, that's such a good idea, that's so good. And then we find out that it's not gonna happen, and PvP is highly, highly discouraged. It's incredibly discouraged, and it's like, oh no. Well, that's just not good at all, is it? And then we find out a lot of the other things about how building can be blueprinted and all this other stuff. So this episode, once I finish speaking and we go to Far Harbor, is going to be me and Fiaura talking about the harsh realities of Fallout 76. So last week we had expectations, how it's going to be so good, how it's going to be so amazing, all these expectations, the sky's the limit. And then we found everything out, and this episode is talking with Fiaura about the harsh realities of Fallout 76. And then in the next one, we will be in Fallout 76. So take one good last look at this really nice sunny, like, one thing that I have heard about 76, although I am trying to keep my exposure to it minimal. Like, I've heard horror stories about it and the launcher, and I've heard good things about it. But one thing people are saying is, oh, the graphics look shit. They look just like Fallout 4. They look terrible. The water looks bad. And it's like, oh, look at that. That doesn't look bad at all. Like, if you are Ubermensch PC gamer, and it's like, oh, look at this texture. Look how blurry it is. It's a terrible texture. Well, that's because you're up close. When you step back and you take a look at it, that's really bright and colourful. And it looks nice. It looks nice. So, like, the whole complaining about the graphics thing, I don't see the point in that. Like, to me, it looks like Fallout 4. It looks fairly nice. I mean, you could obviously get mods to make it look better, but this landscape for a wasteland, it looks great. And apparently West Virginia has got a lot more foliage and a lot more colour, so to me it's probably going to look even better. But anyway, for whatever reason, the quest has not activated, because the quest would take place in here, and despite me buying the DLC, well, all we've got to do is go to our quests. I don't see Far From Home. Investigate the Museum of Witchcraft. Yeah, there's no Far From Home, so I don't know why Far Harbor has not activated. So I'm going to make the transition, and when we come back, you will see me at Far Harbour getting off the boat, and you will then hear the interview that I had with Fiaura and Flick, where we then discuss the harsh realities of Fallout 76. And in the next episode, we are going to be doing Fallout 76. We're going to give it a go. So there will be a first impression stream on Wednesday. It is now Monday. So 2 days from now, there is going to be a first impression stream with me and Fiaura. And that'll kind of translate into the episode for this series. Because obviously if we don't like it, well, we've seen the limitless potential in ourselves. And we can always revert back to Fallout 4 by committee. So for now, you stare out to that Pirates of the Caribbean horizon, and I'll go find the boat keeper to get us a boat. Oh my god, guys, you gotta check this shit out. Just before we start with Fiaura, you gotta check this shit out, right? So, like, here's my Steam, and it says that the 2 gigabytes for Far Harbour have been installed. So that's definitely installed. Time completed, right? That's installed. And then if you go to Fallout, it says, again, Far Harbour installed, but remember, it's not active. And if you go to Steam, it says that you've got to... God damn it. So what's going on here? If it's installed... What the fuck? Ultra... Far Harbour. DLC Coast.esm. DLC Coast.esm. Have I got to activate that? Do I have to activate Exit Coast.esm? Welcome. And just remember, this is a game. By the way, I messed with that Bethesda launch. I actually have installed Fallout 76 ready for Wednesday. I did it like while I was downloading Far Harbour, and this is a game. If you think this is bad, you should have seen that launcher. Oh boy, that launcher. So right, like, talk with Deacon, Valentine Detective Agency, Store for Paint, Piper's Office, Overdue Book, Sanctuary, talk to the settlers at 10 Pine Bluff, miscellaneous. Okay then. Installed, but no one is home. Hello? Mario? Are you here? I need a boat. Fuck it, we'll swim to Far Harbour. We'll swim there. I don't need to get a boat. We'll swim there. We will swim all the way out to Far Harbour. All the way. So, what do I do? Why is this not working? Am I going to have to resort to the forums? I think I am, because I don't get it. I don't understand. Oh, can we do the half glitch as well? Oh no, they fixed that. Hello, Mr. Tyre. We haven't got a boat. We're swimming all the way. We're swimming to Far Harbour. What if there is like a little trigger that's like, oh hey, yeah, you're beyond the bounds. You can swim out there. Like there's just a little DLC trigger in this little buggy game. I don't know. Right, well, I guess I'm gonna quit the game, and you will then see me on the boat with Fiaura once I figure out what the fuck you gotta do to make the DLC activated. So, time to go to the fort. Wait, hold on. Back. Mods? No. Settings? No. Help me. DLC. Far Harbour. Help me. Help me! Okay. Back in a moment. On PlayStation. But I actually can't believe that. Like, we're recording right now. I just got Flick in the call to ask him how to activate it, chat. And I'm like, I'm here at the beach house and the quest's not activating. You saw it on camera that the quest's not activating. As I'm asking him and he says there's a level requirement, apparently not. They just literally spawned the fuck in right when I touched the door. Here they are. Oh, hello sir, how are you? Just fucking popped the fucking out of nowhere, didn't you?
Sorry, but we don't have time for visitors or caravans.
You playing quick mods or vanilla again?
Vanilla, but we're gonna transition to 76 tomorrow.
Oh.
For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake.
I heard the shouting. You sound like you need help.
A good Samaritan?
Yeah, I heard the shouting after you just materialised out the goddamn ether, despite us running round this house for 10 minutes.
Our daughter Kasumi likes to fix things. The radio was her latest project.
Until she made contact with some kidnapper who lured her away from us.
Or maybe she left on her own.
Maybe she left because you're ghosts that just materialise out the
She knows
ether.
how to survive, and she's capable. I think maybe she left because she wanted her own life.
No, she would have told us where she was going. She would have said something. I know my daughter is in danger. I can feel it. Find her, please.
I'll find her. Don't you
In
worry.
short, you just
Thank
needed
you.
Flick to arrive,
room
so
is
game will
upstairs,
fix
if that
itself.
helps.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the guy that's got 1,000 hours has arrived. Better make him spawn in out of the fucking ether.
I feel insulted, Spyro. I have 1,300 hours.
God damn. Can I shoot you? Okay, I didn't actually mean to do that, and I bet I've just fucked myself. I should have auto-saved. Well, let's like do a scientific experiment. Let's just do a scientific experiment to see if we can get them to materialize again, because they're definitely not here. Here we go. We're gonna get them to materialize out the ether again.
Damn it!
Yep.
Come in!
Yep, they
I
just
know you're
fucking
listening on the
materialise
other
now.
end.
They
Where
literally
is
just
she?
materialise now. God damn. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna go get on this guy's boat, and when we come back, it will be the audio of me, Fiaura, and Flick talking about the harsh realities of 76. So, there you go, just spawning out the fucking ether, despite us, like, literally running around that house for 10 minutes. God damn it. Meow. Meow cat. That's a nice boat you've got. You the ferryman? Are you the one that operates this boat? Yes? Is it him? Well, thank you for allowing me the use of your boat, Mr. Cat. Let's go. How do I activate the boat? Activate the boat. It's time. Is the DLC broke? Oh, no, there you go. Activate to Far Harbor, which is the perfect transition. So when the screen transitions to black, the audio will change. Thank you, Mr. Cat. I promise to take good care of your boat, even though we may not come back, because we're going to find the boundless potential of oneself beyond this world. And there you go. Audio change. Did it really just crash?
Did it?
I wasn't expecting nobody. Next shipment's 3 days out.
Oh, they just fucking go down. They just loaded in.
Ease up, Alan.
So that
I
was.
wasn't worried about it. YouTube at this point is too profitable for Google to let it.
No,
to let
but
anything
Google
happen
was
to it.
down as well. Like even Google, like the
Well,
search engine.
Yeah, so and what they figured out was somebody had apparently brought a pizza into the server room.
Was that true or was that just a joke?
No, that's dead serious what they reported as having happened. Somebody brought a pizza into the server room and dropped the pizza across several servers, shorting out everything's connection. And the system, to protect itself, shut everything down. It did exactly what it was supposed to protect itself from sabotage. It shut everything down, and the hard drives activated their safe mode protocol, which basically means that they become unplugged from their system and shoved into a safe. The safe being able to withstand up to 4 pounds of C4 directly applied to it. So the system worked as intended. It's just an idiot that dropped pizza.
It sounds so much like a joke.
It does. It does. The system did what it was supposed to, and whoopsie.
Yeah, but it's like it wasn't a hacker. It wasn't the net neutrality. The true enemy of Google, a slice of pizza.
Oh, it's probably a whole pizza for that to have happened.
Damn. But yeah, so everybody, that's the intro. So we're going to do the bad side first because obviously Fallout 76 has got quite a lot of controversy surrounding it, and we've got.
Wait, the person defending isn't even here. What the fuck?
No, they already recorded their bit.
But I thought we were gonna get to talk to. Oh, fuck.
I can get them on. I can see if they're around. Hold on a minute. Sure.
Like I thought I was gonna present my side of it, and they present their side of it, and then we sit down and like hash it out.
Let's see. Let me get flicking. For a call. Because I know it's 2 different time zones, but I've got all of their arguments. Like I can play the middleman and argue the good side if need be. But they may be currently asleep as they live in Japan side, like on the west of the world.
Oh, so it's
Also
like
east.
5 a.m. there.
Yeah. But I'll keep my eye on that while you make your thing. So yeah, there is contention around Fallout 76. There's a lot of people that love it. There's a lot of people that hate it, and we've got the against side with us today, which is Fiaura the tank girl, or the pony that you're seeing on the screen, Sunrise. And yeah, you don't like Mr. Howard's display so far.
I have not liked any of Mr. Howard's displays whatsoever that he has ever given us for 3, 4, or now 76. By the way, there's all the little ponies in case you need other vectors of me.
Yeah.
But the point is that I haven't liked it because slowly it has eroded the original concept of Fallout, and New Vegas gave us everything that Fallout could be.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're back to Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, neither of which are particularly good Fallout games. And in the case of Fallout 4, it's not a good game to begin with.
Right, well, do you want to pick something to start with and go from there? Like your first point of contention, and we'll elaborate from...
So, my first point of contention is that Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 are not Fallout games.
Mm-hmm.
They have all of the trappings, they have all of the visuals and the references and supposedly the lore backing them up, and then they completely fall apart. So one of the key things about playing Fallout 4 was, what is something I remember distinctively that I chose to do in Fallout 4?
I've got
And I have
another
to sit
settlement that
there
needs
and
your help. I remember him.
I distinctly remember trying to shoot Preston Garvey and then finding out that he was an essential character and I'm not allowed to kill him.
Yeah.
Finding out that in a Fallout game, there are essential characters. I stopped and stared and went, this doesn't make any sense. This is Fallout. Everyone's supposed to be able to die. And it brought me back to a moment in Fallout 3 that truly broke immersion for me and told me that that Fallout was never going to return to the true darkness of its roots. That was the underground city. I'm trying to look up the name of it real quick because I never remember the name of this place. Little Lamplight. A lot of people kind of gloss over Little Lamplight because it's just one or two quests. There's not a lot to it. You don't spend very much time there, and you don't really ever come back there. Here's my problem with Little Lamplight, and this is a big problem.
Right.
You have all of your agency taken away. All of it. Without question or thought, you have no agency in Little Lamplight anymore once you arrive there. Here's why. These children in this city threaten your life unless you do what they ask.
I can already see where this is going. And this is...
You are given no option other than to do what they ask. There's no way to refuse their request. It's an essential quest to continue the main story. It is absolutely required that you do this quest or you're not going to get through the main story.
I mean,
so what happens is first off, the immersion's taken away because every single character in Little Lamplight is an essential character.
You see, that problem stems from the video game industry as a whole, where a child can't die.
Let me point this out. Let me point this out. In Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas, or at least New Vegas survival mode, children can die. There's actually a perk you can acquire in Fallout 2 called Child Murderer, where you intentionally, not by accident, not by explosion radius of a weapon, but intentionally kill a child.
That's true, but that was also a simpler time, smaller companies before the big Bethesda takeover. A AAA company, I mean, in indie games like Limbo, you can kill children all you want, but in a big AAA game that's going to garner a lot of press, you put a child getting killed in there, oof, there's going to be hell to pay.
I'm not an advocate for child murder in any way, shape, or form. I think that's a horrific decision to make. But the fact that my agency is taken away and I have no option, and regardless of the outcome now, I'm now on a story with rails.
Oh, hold on. We actually might get at least the Polish Fallout fan in here.
So I've now had my agency just stripped and have to just roll with it.
Yeah. Right, I'm just giving them a second to wake up, but we may actually be able to get at least a Polish Fallout fan in.
So that's where I am with Fallout 3. Is I get to that point and anything past Little Lamplight just feels disjointed. It feels wrong, and it feels like I should have been able to have another option back in Little Lamplight that just wasn't available. Moving on to now modern Bethesda.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 is littered with dozens of essential characters. Every other Fallout game before this, your companions could die. And their quest was shut off. If they died, that was it. New Vegas had a survival mode. Fallout 1 and 2, your companions could die. Fallout 3, there was a mode added later But originally, no, your companions couldn't actually kick the bucket. They'd come back. Except dog meat. You'd end up with like dog meat number 37. But now we're given Fallout 76, where there's no NPCs.
Yeah.
And watching some of the review footage, robot merchants are essential characters. You can't kill them. A robot that has 3 lines of dialogue that you use as a merchant outlet, you're not allowed to kill.
Alright, hold that thought. Let's get the Fallout fan in here. So this is... How do I add somebody? Add friends to DM, send friend request. Why can't I just...
You have to friend request them on Discord because that way it knows that you're authorized to do this.
They are my friends. That's why I don't understand why I can't add someone from my friend list. What?
Because I'm not friends with you.
Ah, okay, there you go. Let me just... Whoop. Pending. Accept. Whoop. Whoop. Flick. Hello?
So,
Well. I thought that will be a way bigger conversation.
Well, we're here, so we are basically Fallout 76 is... I've already got Crystal that's defended this, but if you're now both here, Fallout 76 is obviously getting a lot of contention, and you putting over 1,000 hours into Fallout 4 and enjoying it, I thought you'd be the perfect one to have some good defenses, and Fiaura here is going to be the one giving the offenses. Right now we've just described how Fallout 4 and a bit of Fallout 3 have taken away some player agency by making some characters like the children and Preston Garvey essential so you can't kill them.
Oh yeah, one of the most popular mods to be able to kill Garvey.
it's literally the number 4 ranked mod on Nexus, on Nexus to this day for Fallout 4. Kill Preston Garvey.
I like him, but after a while he starts to flirt with me, and I'm like, no guy, you stay in the castle forever now. But do continue.
So I understand that, like, advocating the killing of characters, it's not exactly a good place to really base my argument, but that's just one aspect in which a game about player agency, about your effect on the world, about choice and consequence, and the fallout of your consequences has been repeatedly ate at and stripped away and ripped apart. Now, I'm not going to say that Obsidian should make a new Fallout game. By and large, no. The only 2 people who are still on the original Fallout team that work at Obsidian are Fergus and Michael Downey. Everyone else, all the original writers and everyone from New Vegas has moved on to other jobs at this point in time, and are at this point split between 4 or 5 different companies. So yes, while Obsidian did do a masterful job with writing a story for New Vegas, I just think that someone besides Todd Howard should be tending the reins. And I also firmly believe that Bethesda should state, we're going to take all the gloves off. In this day and age, it is not beyond a AAA company's ability and repertoire to make an adult-rated game sell well. See Grand Theft Auto 5. All the way up until release day, this was an A-rated game. They made a little bit of modifications to get the ESRB to back it down to M, but all the pre-orders, everything you did, everything everyone got hyped for and everything for that game, it was rated A for adult. It was a 21-plus game. Fallout should be that. Fallout should be a game in which I don't have my agency stripped away, and Fallout should have some real depth to it. If I decide to intervene with a merchant to stop a raider from blowing up their caravan, as you so often do in Fallout 4, you come across merchant caravans all the time. Sometimes under attack. If I do that, then nearby settlements should benefit with increased numbers of caps and better items for sale. That doesn't happen. Furthermore, in Fallout 4, there's a distinctive lack of anything memorable. Name 3 settlements in Fallout 4. Just name 3 of them that you didn't have to build. That you had no agency in building.
Bunker Hill? Okay, the next one will be... Moment.
Bunker Hill.
Yeah, Complete doesn't count because it's not settlement. And because I got many modded ones, so I'm like, is it modded or original one?
So I'll answer this question. Bunker Hill and Diamond City.
The castle.
Diamond City is not settlement. I mean, not the one you can edit in anyway.
No. Settlements you can't edit. Settlements that are already established, that have their own characteristics, that are there in the wasteland. There are 2, Diamond City and...
3. What? How it's called? The one where Hancock lives.
Good Neighbor.
Yeah, Good Neighbor.
I would say Good Neighborhood, except for Good Neighborhood is all of 3 buildings. Every other building in Good Neighborhood you're shut off from. There's no, and there's only a grand total of 6 NPCs you can actually have a meaningful interaction with beyond saying hello to. So there's the idea of Good Neighborhood, but it's so shallow and so very poorly fleshed out.
Yeah, but since we're talking about Fallout 4 now, let me say this. Fallout 4 is good, but only for one gameplay maybe, unless you play with mods, but that's the Bethesda problem. They put too much, like, oh, we can make shitty game, but we have modders which can make it good for free, but maybe we can even charge the people for the mods now. So that
don't get me started on the Creation Club and what a terrible idea that was.
Still is.
It still is, and it's so Fallout 76 goes the exact opposite route for which anyone wanted for Fallout. We go from sparse NPCs, nothing truly memorable unless it's just, what the heck? Like, the most memorable NPCs in Fallout I can remember is listening to the Dick Tracy style radio broadcast holotapes that were leading up to Valentine's story arc.
If you're on about Fallout 4, like just that one, my most memorable NPC was Cleo because she was a seductive killing machine. I just found that funny.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That was
Hancock.
That was like my most memorable it was holotapes, not the actual NPCs. The holotapes that are Valentine's side quest was the most memorable NPC because it's the distinctive voice, it's the way it's set up, it's everything about that makes sense.
Yeah, but many of those holotapes are recorded so fucking bad. I mean, like the voice acting.
But then we get to like your actual companions, and I don't remember any
I like
particular
companions, except Strong. I used to defend Strong, but after traveling with him like half hour, I hate him now.
I've tried traveling with all of them. Part of the problem I have with the Fallout 4 companions is they're mostly silent. They make comments and things during combat. They might say something after you make a decision. But here's the difference for you. If I take let's say I take Kate, because she's the closest comparison to what I'm going to use. If I take Kate into a conversation situation and I make a decision, I'll hear about that decision 20 minutes later when she wants to talk to me. If I take Cassidy from New Vegas into a situation, she's going to actively interject into the conversation I'm having with an NPC. And it's going to be known that my decision with that NPC is going to affect my relationship with that character because they've now interjected their opinion. This is a huge issue I have with how Fallout 4 has progressed, and now I'm being told there's no NPCs in Fallout 76.
Oh, less for you to complain about.
Well, the most memorable characters in every single Fallout game I've ever played are NPCs. I remember I actually remember most of your dad from Fallout 3 because Liam Neeson did an excellent job, and because the writers for your dad in that game actually wrote a real character. I remember Marcus from the mutant settlement in New Vegas very distinctly. I remember the Burning Man. Like, the only saving grace to Honest Hearts was literally following all of the Burning Man side quest. It was so enriching to know what that character had been through and why they did what they did. Also, the fact that he just hands you like this really cool 45, and I'm a personal fan of the 45, but that's another story entirely. When I go play Fallout 2, I remember Harold the Tree. I remember these characters were done with clay puppet animation, and I can remember their faces and their facial expressions and the way they
I remember
talk.
Boone a lot. I remember Boone. How do you pronounce his name? You know,
Boone?
the sniper. Yes.
Yeah, you remember Boone because Boone had a very, very distinct personality, and you found out why he does what he does. And it gets deeper and richer and further the longer the story goes. The more you travel with Boone, the more you find out about him. And the more NPCs react to him because he has a reputation. Doesn't matter what character I travel with in Fallout 4. They all tell me about it later. They don't...
Yes, I can agree. They kind of went lazy with the NPC, but they still are quite good. I mean, like I actually like the side quests, but it's kind of short. I was actually expecting a little bit more, but still beats like companions in Skyrim, you know.
So what Fallout 4 and Skyrim is what Fallout 4 winds up feeling like to me. It feels like Fallout trappings of Skyrim, or Skyrim with guns. It's not what I wanted to play. I didn't
No,
want to play
Skyrim got so many NPCs. Granted, they had a lot of NPCs with different faces, while Fallout is like, generic 6 spaces between people, and like, yeah.
Well, yes, but with Skyrim, you can be, and Fallout 4, you can be everybody. Once you make a decision, that path is not necessarily cut off until the very end when it comes time to decide which of the 4 factions you're going to go with. And to me, going with any of those factions, except the Institute, is the same as the Mass Effect 3 ending. What color do you want your laser light show? That's the truth. Whose flag do you want flying over your nuclear explosion, or do you want to go with the Institute? Like, those are the 2 options. And it just felt so shallow and arbitrary.
Why are you so negative?
Because we're on a podcast and this is the negative side of things. You're supposed to be here to be positive.
I tried to be positive. I tried to be positive. I tried to be enthusiastic about Fallout 4. The Far Harbor and Nuka-Cola World saved Fallout 4 as far as any form of story.
I have so many hours in Fallout, but like I'm having too much fun doing, role-playing stuff that I never actually went to Nuka World yet. I was in Far Harbor, and yeah, it feels so different with atmosphere. Like, it feels horrific, but at the same time you have more survival because you're getting radiation almost all the freaking time. It's dark.
And radiation. Well, that's another issue I have with Fallout 4 and 76. Radiation is supposed to be a creeping death. You're not supposed to realize it's happening.
Moment.
I'm gonna interject on that radiation thing. I kind of like the way that radiation has been portrayed in 4 and 76, because if you're in an irradiated area, then you're getting radiation. Did you need the Geiger counter making constant noise? No. But it's nice to know it's happening to you, and...
No. Part of let me explain radiation poisoning to you and how it was portrayed in previous Fallouts.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
You weren't supposed to truly realize you were being irradiated until it's too late, which is how it works in real life. you don't immediately suffer ill health effects from radiation exposure
Yeah,
short
but
of...
you're forgetting one really important thing. It's about, having fun in the game, but if you want have some really hardcore game, you just get different game or
No, no.
mods for it. But like, if let's take like for a player Spyro. How would you feel Spyro if you like, oh, I'm starting new game, I'm going out of the world dead because random radiation storm, and you don't know what the fuck killed me.
Well, you see, that's why I partly like it, but only partly. As I say, I hate the fact that the Geiger counter goes up and down like crazy when
You're
getting killed. Hold on, there's a radiator guy here. I'm gonna have to cut this bit out, maybe.
you're supposed to not realize it's part of Fallout. You say not a hardcore experience. Fallout is supposed to be a hardcore experience. That's what Fallout 3 and New Vegas reinforced.
Well,
This
hold
was
on.
a...
I miss part from New Vegas that armors and weapons could break. That's something I miss.
Right,
But
There-
like,
just like talk about kittens for 2 seconds, because I've been having a radiator issue and we've got a mechanic out which might be fixing it.
They're adding that back in to 76. They're adding condition back into 76 of weapons.
Spyro will be so happy.
Yeah, we'll discuss that in a sec. Just give me a minute.
I'm actually a big fan of hardcore games, but like, I'm not playing that...
But Fallout's supposed to be a hardcore game. You're supposed to... Part of Fallout 2 was...
Right. Okay,
if
so
you
apparently all he's got to do is tighten a valve and then it'll stop leaking, so that's great. But yeah, so radiation, I hate the fact that the Geiger counter goes like crazy, and the fact that you know how irradiated you are by your health bar is kind of shit, I guess. But like, I would like... Okay, if I was going to say...
Bad side effects more and more.
Let me point this out.
Yeah.
In Fallout 1 and 2, and even it's still canon, Brotherhood of Steel, which is an awful game. But in Fallout 1 and 2, you just get a message that says you feel sick.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'd like. Like, I'd like to see the little symbol in the bottom saying you're getting 1 rad, 2 rads, 10 rads, 15 rads, but not actually...
Without taking a medical exam, I wouldn't want a rad counter. I wouldn't want my health to go down.
No, I don't want my health to go down. That's what I mean. I'd like a little symbol, even if it doesn't say the number of rads, just like a little nuclear symbol to show you're in the irradiated area, but not actually show it like going up.
I didn't mind the Geiger counter noise. What I mind is that it has this direct relation to your total hit points, which makes no goddamn sense for how radiation has worked in any previous game and how it works in real life. You can be exposed to several hundred rads and not realize the ill effects for a few days.
Yeah.
Like, if I were exposed...
That would make walking like to the doctor more actually important. Like, hey, you know what? I need to check if I'm... Oh my god, I was almost dying. Good thing I went to the doctor.
Exactly. They need to make, like... They really need... If they want to play up the survival aspect like Fallout 2 did, like Fallout New Vegas' survival mode does, then put radiation on a different track and make it where we can't see it without stopping and having an exam, or actually taking some time to look at, what's wrong with us. Because radiation sickness and radiation burns are not something that you should realize is happening until it's too goddamn late. If you're exposed to 250 Geigers of radiation, which is enough to cause some acute poisoning problems, about 2.5, 3 hours later, you'll vomit. You'll lose control of your bowels. You'll be sick. You're gonna survive, but you don't know how sick you are or why you're sick until you go get an exam or somebody takes a look and says, "Oh, you're radiation poisoned." That's how radiation's supposed to work. And this constant feedback with your health bar makes no goddamn sense, and it's a crappy ass game mechanic. Because what it means is enemies who irradiate you, like rad scorpions and death claws, and rad roaches to a minor extent who give you points of radiation when they hit you. All they're doing is applying a health debuff that you can get rid of at any time. It makes radiation seem non-threatening.
Yeah.
I mean, I just hope in 76 they will make like food and items actually, hard to scavenge. Like you
Well,
actually like, oh, I found something important. Oh, I feel so good
Here's-
about myself.
Let's
items.
move
Speaking
on.
of items, one of the problems that they've done with 76 with
You're
items.
not letting me speak at all, and it's like kind of hard to have
Well, no,
discussion.
we're
when you're
going
talking
to
like that
move
in
on to the
microphone.
discussion. I'm going to put it into the next part. Speaking of items, is the hardcore mode, which has now been forced upon people. Now, I know
Oh,
that
there's
both
no
of you...
option to like
No,
survival
there
if
is
you-
not no option.
Okay.
You are, when a server is started, you are forced into the hardcore aspects where weapons will degrade, you will need to eat, sleep and drink, and you will, if you, like with the survival mode of Fallout 4, if you're carrying too much, your legs will break. So it's a full hardcore mode. So I know that you like it, Flick, and you probably also like
but
it,
I'm
Fiaura.
still a little bit disappointed because like that should be an option. Like the game's supposed to be fun, not like if you don't like it, then you should have option like no, I prefer just to run around and shoot people. But like I personally love the hardcore thing. Just I prefer when there's an option, not force.
I don't think it should be an option. This is a series that has been sold for years on the fact that it's a hardcore gritty series, that the world sucks, you're in a wasteland and you have to deal with it. Being told that you can make it easier is not... I'm not necessarily a get good type of player, but I'm not a player who's going to tell you you should be able to make a game easier just because it's too hard for you.
They will lose like a lot of customers which would buy it, but like I want to have game to have fun, not to be pissed all the time. Again, I'm giving Spyro experience here.
They're losing a lot of customers now. Like hardcore Fallout fans are not behind this.
They hardly listen to the customers. But I'm talking about Bethesda. I cannot blame the game, especially since I did not play it yet. But so far, I say the most difficult survival game I played was RimWorld. And that's like freaking 2D game.
So
and I've played Ark and I've never played New Vegas without the survival mode turned on. Like never. I refuse to play New Vegas without that mode turned on because it just feels weird.
Yes,
and one
for me in almost every game, but
one
there
of the
should be still option. Like easy, okay, you don't want it, but like you missing the fun. But
if you're gonna make that an option, it should be since this is set up via 24 to 32 person servers. They haven't verified that number yet. Then it should be the same for everyone on that server.
yeah, that's understandable.
even freaking Conan Exiles got option to turn off some things.
But one of the issues with Fallout 76 is how the trappings of Fallout have not transferred to this multiplayer environment very well at all. The footage I have seen of VATS...
Okay, can I tell you something how I see it? Like, I don't see it like continuation of Fallout. I see it like a Fallout themed game, but like, I see it like totally different game with just title of Fallout and the world of it, but it's a totally different game for me.
So the...
I don't care for the old things, I will be focusing on the new things, but
okay, I'm trying to get to a new thing.
Okay.
VATS has been turned into aimbot.
Slow motion thing.
No, 76 has no slow motion. It's all real time. It is now just strictly a temporary aimbot in real time. That is every bit of footage. That is every bit of reviewer who's played the game, who's played the preview test so far, and that is the word of mouth from the beta test. It is strictly a aimbot that you turn on and off that recharges over time. that works in PvP.
No, I mustn't have just quite got enough on it.
Right, that's fixed now, so we won't have any more interruptions. Right, yeah, the VATS. How would you have wanted it to work? Because I've had a defender of this, being that it is a online server.
More players.
No, being
So,
that it's an
you
online
cannot stop
server.
time for everyone.
Yeah, how would that work? How would you slow down? You can't slow down time for the entire server.
I wouldn't have slowed down time. That's one thing. The second thing is I would have made it a system that allows you to aim for specific body parts. The current VATS that they've displayed is literally just a general aimbot for center mass.
I mean, I would like literally drop the VATS idea overall since it's multiplayer.
Third, the fact that it turns into an aimbot is disturbing. I get that it was an aimbot in the past, but this makes PvP seem silly because there are the preview cards I've seen for VATS indicate that if you go pure VATS, you basically at 300 yards can 100% someone 4 times with a rifle. And I'm like, that's a bit weird. That removes a lot of the challenge from a PvP game. And with
Then
what I would have
like, who first did press the VATS option.
So what I would have wanted is for VATS to come up and you quickly are given a hotkey or a wheel to indicate where you want it to shoot. You click and you fire, and the weapon aims at it with an accuracy rating based on your character, but nothing that is ever 100%. Nothing that's ever like a for sure hit, unless the gun is literally pressed against them. This way, you're still reflecting that player skill is more important than using stats. Furthermore, other problems with the Fallout trappings is the inventory system with items. Because you now have the survival aspect where you have to eat and sleep and drink and check your rads and stuff. The aid section of the Pip-Boy is completely fucked.
In what way?
Because you end up with magazines and 6 different forms of water and 29 different kinds of food and all of this stuff just jumbled together in one list. And there's no way to isolate it, search it, or categorize it. It hasn't been easily categorized into food, liquid, buff, and other. And that's a problem.
That they will fix it by themselves eventually, think like many people will be pissed.
The thing is,
about
like,
it. Or they will just like, let's wait for modders to fix it for us.
You can't. They can't wait for modders to fix it because they've announced that you are not going to be able to mod or run private servers for the game until November 2nd of 2019, a full year after release.
Is that confirmed?
They have given us a confirmed date for modding and private servers as over a year from game release.
Okay, I was supposed to protect the game here, but at this point I'm like, that's kind of dick move and very stupid.
And on top of that, they've announced that private servers will not be run through third parties or on your own. You will have to buy a server through their online publication platform, basically their version of Steam, which, by the way, I've tried using. It's like Steam 1.0 from 12 years ago. It's bad.
I know. You had to have account to get like creation kit for Fallout, and it's just awful. It disconnects every time.
It disconnects so often. It chugs so hard when it's downloading because it consumes your connection, and on top of this, the version that I was using a couple months ago would not take PayPal. You had to use a credit card. And it won't take and before that, the original version wouldn't take a bank debit card. It had to be an actual credit card, to which I just stared and went, What about for those of us who don't have actual credit cards,
That is-
who
Yeah,
just have our bank
I'm an
card?
adult, but I don't have the credit card because it's not very useful
Now,
for me.
I know they've updated it to where it will take credit cards. I don't know if it'll take PayPal yet. But for a lot of people like me, my first my first direct access to income is
Debit.
PayPal, because my stream tip goes through PayPal, my Patreon goes through PayPal, my all of my income goes through PayPal first, and then whatever I want then goes to my bank account. Getting access to that stuff is just not possible through any other service or method.
Okay, Spyro, can you confirm that? Because I mean, I know developers sometimes can do stupid things,
No,
but that
I'm
thing
I'm
is
already
like very
looking
just
it up.
shooting themselves in the foot.
I am already looking it up. The Bethesda launch app thing. I am like pretending to buy a game. It is currently only credit card or debit card.
Ooh.
And at this point, there's so many other services. Steam has 18 different payment methods, not credit card and debit card being two of them. This is just badly designed at this point for easy access to the consumer. And more importantly, I can't encourage this kind of behavior because
Okay,
how many
definitely.
people want like 18 different things that run all your games on your computer?
Yeah, it's
These
just
things.
it's just another client like EA Origins.
And Origins was like the last straw for me. I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is no.
I didn't even do
Not
that.
to mention the fact that Origins.
Allow them have their updates, commercial spam and stuff. Yes.
Yes, and not to mention the fact that Origins and Ubisoft's Uplay system have data farming on them. I get Steam does that to some extent for the purposes of Steam, but I'm pretty sure that EA and Ubisoft will actively sell your information to advertisers.
Oh,
Considering
yeah,
what they've done
that's
to
very
Assassin's Creed Origins, I wouldn't be surprised.
So how am I supposed to trust another publisher to not do this?
Yeah.
I have a great solution for all those problems. Go on Steam, get yourself a game called 7 Days to Die, and you will be happy forever.
But-
Further,
You will have your beloved hardcore.
Getting back, so you don't. So would you accept the option of an easy mode, because there are going to be newcomers to the game that never played 1, 2, 3 New Vegas, that joined at 4 where easy mode was the default, that may want to try 76 and they're now being forced to use hardcore. Would you say that you would agree to at least have the option for an easy mode for those that are still trying to get into the series? Because they could easily play it on easy and take it up to hardcore whenever they want.
Like I
No.
said, that should be option.
I would not, for one very important reason.
Mm.
Because if they pick up the game,
Yeah.
and then get an interest in the other games, outside of 4 and 76, if they get an interest in 3 and Vegas and 1 and 2, they're going to go play those and then be pissed off and disappointed and scream about why the older games are suddenly bad games when they were designed at a time when easy mode wasn't an option for a reason. And that reason was you're trying to incorporate the experience of living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland with none of the modern support systems we have.
Yeah, but
but
we're
what
talking
if-
about the current game. We like, I cannot make a new game if I will always look at the old game.
But it takes such a radical departure from the idea of surviving in a post-apocalyptic wasteland to just running around a post-apocalyptic wasteland shooting up things for fun. There are other games
Many
that let me
people
run
buy
around.
that just for that, you know.
Yes, but there are other games that let me do that. If you're removing part of the core experience of Fallout, you're removing what makes Fallout Fallout.
No, they don't removing it. They making it an option.
You shouldn't make it you shouldn't give the option.
No, you should. If you want to have customers and have like everyone happy, you should have option.
No, you shouldn't, because Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas didn't have those options, and they still
Yes,
sold
but it's
incredibly
like
well.
you're telling other people how they should play their games. It's like if you want to play easy mode, okay, it's your choice. It's your fun. It's
I'm
about to have
not
fun.
telling
And like
people how
you
to play
kind of do
their...
like, oh, you don't want to
Uh,
have that option to be option.
So let me
because...
let me ask this question.
Mhm.
Should Dark Souls have an easy mode?
Yes.
What are Dark Souls?
Why? Why should a game series that's patented on you overcoming an impossible challenge continuously that is going to repeatedly kick you in the face have an easy mode?
I'm going to use some developers. The creator of Dark Souls has pondered the idea of easy mode, because if it is your first time playing, there is nothing wrong with an easy mode. Let's say number 3 had an... Well, 3's out. Let's just say Dark Souls 4, for example, had an easy mode. Now, yes, they would have to have their own servers. You couldn't have an easy mode person going against an experienced player. They would have to have their own dedicated servers. It would take work. But if you have an easy mode to ease newcomers into the series, let them play around with the mechanics, let them learn when's the best time to dodge, when's the best time to defend. If they've had an enjoyable experience, then this is going to relate to me in Fallout 4 in a minute. If they have an enjoyable experience, like I did with Fallout 4, then you can bump it up to hard mode. It's like, right, I have learned the mechanics, I have learned when to dodge, I've learned what these enemies do. Now I'm ready to go at the game for real. I'm ready to have my face kicked in a bit. And it works the other way as well, because Kirby games are too easy, and in the arena, not the main game, just the side fun mini games, there's a difficulty slider, and when you knock Kirby's difficulty up, it's like, damn, I want to play this hard mode Kirby. Where's the hard Kirby? So why doesn't Kirby have a increased difficulty? So there's nothing wrong with an option. But when people ask for the option, it goes one of two ways. Either people ask for it and the developer is an asshole, as Nintendo did with Salmon Run, where people said Salmon Run is closed at particular times of day, I'm asleep or at work at those particular times, and Nintendo's response was, well, don't buy the game. Like, it's not our fault. And it's like, it kind of is. You could just have it on 24/7. Or if the developer suggests that, like yourself, a lot of fans will be like, yeah, but that's ruining the experience, when it's not.
Well, let me explain to you why it's a bad idea in 76.
Okay.
So you're playing and why it's a bad idea for Dark Souls. You're playing a multiplayer game, a game that is innately competitive, because as it's described in Fallout
If you
76,
play competitive, I mean, like, let's
you
say,
are,
me,
regardless
Spyro,
of...
and few others wanna play, that's like, have
Okay,
fun. We don't
you
want to
asked
kill
me
each
to not
other.
interrupt you.
Okay.
I
Yeah, go on.
barely got into my point. Let's say, because Fallout 76 is innately competitive, you are competing to get to those resource drops, you are competing to get those resources, and you are competing to get launch codes for nuclear weapons. Fair. You have to compete for those things. There's no choice, because there's a limited amount of them on the server. They don't respawn except every few days, and if you aren't the first one to it, you're going to have to fight over it or let someone else have it. If you're playing in that competitive experience, and the way Fallout 76 is set up, my account has one character, unless I want to reset.
Mm-hmm.
I have one character that transfers between servers. If I go on a server, play on easy mode, super level that character, grab all of these nice weapons and armor and pieces, and then jump to another server with this super leveled character with all of these items and weapons, even with scaling, I now have an innate advantage over every other player on that server who's been playing on that server since the beginning on hardcore mode, because I just arrived basically as Superman in comparison to how they started and have had to fight for what they have.
Well, that's...
And it's going to result in a very toxic community backlash, because anyone who beats you who's a higher level, you're just going to say, oh, nice job, easy moder.
Well, that's why I say, like, with Dark Souls, you would have dedicated servers. Like, if you started in easy mode, that's it. You can't switch your character unless you reset. You can't go on to a hard server unless you reset. If you pick easy mode,
I agree with that.
you're locked into an easy mode server with no option to go up to hard unless you're willing to take that reset.
But that drastically splits the community. That is dividing your game community, and Bethesda doesn't want that, and I personally don't want that. So we all kind of need to have the similar or same gameplay experience. So adding an easy mode to a situation that is multiplayer competitive creates a disjointed experience. Because let's say I'm streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's to say that I'm not? So what's to say I'm not streaming on medium mode? Because if you have an easy mode and you have a hardcore mode, there's obviously something in the middle.
Yeah.
Who's to say that, they don't take that as the hard mode, then jump on the hard mode from their easy mode and just get stomped and then complain? And then it turns out it's just, either I withheld the information or they didn't listen to all the information about what I was doing. So what am I left with? It creates a very disjointed community in which everyone who's played on easy mode jumps on hard mode and then suddenly complains about hard mode being unbalanced. When it's hard mode, it's not supposed to be. So I am not. Anytime you have a multiplayer situation, I'm never a fan of creating multiple modes. Arc has this problem where all the different private servers have different settings. So it always feels weird to me to start an Arc server because I don't know what the rules are until I get partway into the server, and then I go, this is way too easy, or this is way too hard.
Fair enough. Going to your competitive thing, though, this brings us on to the next point of contention a lot of people are loving or hating. So, as you said, it's going to be a competitive game where everybody is fighting over items, specifically the launch codes, which can nuke different settlements and so on and so forth. So, we come to the PvP. We're going to basically use the term raider. Even though raiders are NPCs, we're going to use the term raider to account for every person on this server, not just the enemies. So you're obviously going to get raided by other players. Now, when a raider hits you, to what degree do you think they should be allowed to loot and or destroy? Because let's just say that it's a bit like Fallout 4 and you can find parts around the world to upgrade your gun. So you have gone round, you have taken the time to scavenge all these resources to get yourself a tier 5 gun. Doesn't matter whether it's a laser gun or a bolt pistol. You've now scavenged enough resources and got enough of your special cards to get a tier 5 gun as well as tier 5 armors, all that stuff. And you walk into a quest, you don't want to fight, you're just walking to kill a Deathclaw or whatever the quest demands, and like a real raiding faction, you are ambushed and you are now engaged in a fight with some raiders. They win. What degree should they be able to loot?
Here's my response to this.
Virginity.
And I want you to understand my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, in the current build that has been displayed in the stress test, as well as with the
reviewers,
with the community contributors' secret invites, what has been revealed to us is that PvP is strictly punitive towards the initiator.
Right.
You are currently allowed to loot less than 5% of the total items, minimum one, which in most cases will be one item off of the person you kill.
Yes.
You are currently given a bounty made free for everyone to shoot at. There's a list of things that is like thrown against you for engaging other players in PvP, and the reward is negligible to nil, other than you trolling them. There's literally no motivation other than trolling for engagement in PvP.
Well,
There's also no risk for the person carrying. Yes, you might lose everything because you can't get back to your body and loot it.
Well,
that's fair.
That's what I mean. So, like, just say you've spent hours. It doesn't matter whether it's for trolling. Let's say that this raider knows that you have that level 5 gun and they get one item, and you've spent all that time and effort making that level 5 gun. They've only got a level 1 gun, but they sneak up behind you, get a headshot. It was a lucky draw, but they've killed you. Even if it's just one item, they get to take that level 5 gun. Is that fair?
Here's my firm stance.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to create a world that's supposed to be like Fallout, where it is gritty and real and shit sucks and people die, everything on your person should be at risk when you die. Every single item you have. I like the punitive measures against raiding that have been granted. I like that. I don't like the fact that there's no real upside to engaging in that activity other than trolling. And what's going to happen is you get a server-wide announcement that there's a bounty on your head and that people should come kill you. And then it upscales to people now have their maps marked to your location and a bounty over the cursor of where you are on the map. Excuse me? That level of punitive retaliation for no real reward or gain makes it pointless to engage in. You can't really be a raider because what's going to happen is as soon as you get to level 2 or 3 level of wanted status on the server, everyone's just going to come kill you.
I mean, I'm okay with the bounty, but like, why giving like the freaking marker to everyone?
So you can either avoid them or you can hunt them down. That's literally the justification. And I looked at it, and with the sheer limited amount that you can actually take off of people, in a lot of cases, just a single random item, which for all you know might be that really cool gun you're talking about, or you might walk up and try to loot a corpse and it generates 1 bottle of dirty water.
So it is random what you get?
It's random.
Okay.
On top of that, you don't get XP, Atom, or caps for killing someone unless there was a wanted challenge on them. What?
So you can actually abuse that system, like, oh, we are friends, I will kill you, and there will be bounty on my head, but the 5th guy will kill me, and we're gonna have caps for that.
You can...
Oh, hello? Hello? Wow. Right, Discord decided to do a bit of a crash there, but go on. So, what Flick just said that you could abuse it.
You can abuse this system for personal gain between you and another player, and the respawn of a killed player is ridiculously close to their body.
Wow.
One community creator, Oxhorn, particularly commented on this, that he and another player proceeded to engage in PvP and ended up being stuck in PvP for a total of 18 rounds because they were respawning within line of sight of each other. So he killed the other player respawned. The timer still hadn't expired for him to counterattack, so the other player respawned, weapon in hand, and opened fire on an already wounded Oxhorn, killed him, and they went back and forth for 17 rounds before they respawned into a position where they couldn't actually see each other or find each other.
So spawn camping.
So spawn camping is a thing. You can just kill somebody. Now they have to go to their body to get most of their stuff back. except for any item that's apparently a secure item. They have to go back to their body and get their stuff back. And you can just have your team of 4 people standing over that body and be like, come and get it. And every time that they spawn, they're still engaged in combat. So all 4 of you just open up as soon as one of you sees them. And I'm just staring at that like, what? And then the next thing about this entire system that pissed me off so much, item level linked to player level. What this means, to show this, a Bethesda dev walked up to one of the content creators, got out of his power armor, and gave him a few items. He tried to get into the power armor and was given the message, this item is too high level for your character. I went, what? So I get level scaling for PvP purposes, so players are on an even plane, which honestly every form of level scaling I've ever seen is never an even plane. The higher level character always has an advantage. Check Star Wars Online, World of Warcraft, Ark. There's a list of things where like the item scaling just doesn't work. It tries, but it never quite gets it right.
Yeah.
But also,
I mean, in
the
7 days
fact
to die,
that
at least. I mean, like, if you have better scavenging, then you should have like better chance on random looting thing. But like level,
there's no
just
skills.
is- yeah, that kinda,
There's no skills. So there's only perk cards that you can equip and unequip at any time. So I can kill you with combat perk cards, re-equip myself immediately
With scavenging.
to scavenging perk cards, walk up to your corpse and scavenge.
no, you can't.
No, you can't.
Yeah, that's how it's currently.
Because moment you equip those scavenging cards, you're dead because I spawned next to my body and killed you.
But if my friends are there to keep you from doing that,
What if you're alone?
that's true. But if I'm going to engage in PvP, obviously I'm probably going to bring a full party. And one of those people is going to be equipped for scavenging. So they're going to walk up and be the scavengers. And that's kind of an abuse of the system. But more importantly, what this means is if you are the higher level player, if you're like, let's say you're level 60 and I'm level 30, and I kill you, and your gun is one of the drops that I get off your body, I can't even pick it up. I can't scavenge it. It's too high level for me.
Because it's too heavy.
It's not too heavy. It's too high level for you. And I'm like, so in other words, PvP just got a whole lot more downwind. The higher level characters can engage in it freely. The lower level characters have no reason to engage in it because I can't loot the higher level player's body.
They will explain like it gives you a reason to practice and get a higher level.
And I stared at that and I'm like,
That is
No.
stupid.
you can't do that. If in Ark, let's use Ark for example, because Ark does a hell of a lot of PvP. If I, with a bow and arrow, kill a player who's running around with an ascended long neck rifle, so I shot him in the head and killed him,
You get that rifle.
I can go get that long neck rifle and use it. No questions. I'm still 20 levels below the guy and have less stats across the board, but I managed to do it. I can retrieve his rifle and use it. Fallout, if you have a gauze rifle and I have a pipe pistol and I'm level 30 and you're level 60 and I kill you with my pipe pistol, I can't come get your gauze rifle.
So you can't pick it up to use it later, it's just locked to their body.
It's locked. You cannot pick up an item that's too high level for you, which also means you can't go with friends who are outside of your level zone to go do things, because what's going to happen is the first person is when they access a chest and find something, they're like, ooh, you might want this. They try to hand it to you and you can't even pick it up.
Or like
But if you
Spyro
are-
died, and like
If you are playing
Spyro
as
is
a
like,
team though,
Ah.
if they're, just say like someone is playing a lot more, they have more spare time. Like just say I'm now level 60 because I'm playing it non-stop for the review, then you and Flick jump on and you're only level 20, I can get the level 60 stuff out of the random chest and I can just put it in our base and just wait till you are at that level. So while you...
Yeah, but
no, I mean like Spyro. Let's say we're fighting a boss. Okay, you're the high level guy, but you die.
oh no.
And then we are like, oh, we will want to help you get your items, Spyro, before they despawn, but like, oh no, we cannot pick them. Oh, that's a pity. You have to go all that way here.
Yeah.
You, and the boss is still there defending your body. You can't get to your items, and your friends can't pick them up for you to save them. That's a problem. Furthermore, you don't want to do what you just said to do, and that is go with your high-level person with a bunch of people to engage a boss, because the enemies that spawn in an area are based on the highest level person in the area. So if I'm level 60 and you're level 30 and we go into an area, the death claw is going to be level 60.
Well, Spyro, we're gonna have to play equally.
So that means that everyone else in my party who's lower level than me
He's gonna have a
is
bad
fighting
time.
at a huge disadvantage. Because if you remember from Fallout 4, one of the game mechanics was that creatures that were higher level than your player character, and this is transferred over to 76, as far as we can tell, gain additional DR, DT, and damage output against your character at lower level.
Damn.
Oh, that's not good. This changing, we're gonna have his ass kicked.
Well,
So this also presents a new form of trolling. A
Oh, yeah.
max level character can sit in an area and be level and deny the area to lower level characters.
Yeah, I was about to say that gives a opportunity.
which brings
Because I don't have to fight those creatures. I can just sit in a building with the door closed.
No one sees me and they are like, why he's so strong?
And then you know, people keep running into the area because they want to do a quest, because they want to do like the haunted cabin thing, which was a really, really cool thing to have an actual like haunted cabin with poltergeist and everything that we saw in this preview. But they can't come in there because there's
a
a level 65,
guy just camping.
or there's just level 65 ghouls spawning that just bum rush you and kill you one hit if you're below level 40.
Yeah. Which brings...
More importantly,
Go on.
your special stats actually don't, in Fallout 76, your special stats don't affect your actual stats. It's perk cards. It's all perk cards. Everything's perk cards. Yes, they have minimal effects, like your agility slightly increases the amount of AP you get for VATs. Your endurance slightly increases your hit points. Your strength slightly increases your carry weight. But the perk card is the one you actually want to do something with. And I'm just looking at all these mechanics coming together and going, we just wanted to be able to invite our friends to our Fallout game and play with our friends. We didn't want to play a massive multiplayer. We didn't want to play this as a service. We didn't want to play a 32-person server. We just wanted to like have two other people actually go with us on a quest.
Yeah, that brings us on to the next point of contention people are having, the multiplayer, because some people have said that Fallout is best played alone, single player.
It really is best played in a company of people who are all going to have a similar mindset, attitude, and reverence for what is actually going on. So, for instance, one of the problems with 76, it's a real problem. You pick up holotapes that are actually very well voice acted. I compliment very well voice acted, very well written, very well done. But then you have somebody over here while this incredibly serious and very visceral account of people dying of a disease before their eyes is playing, jumping around going, hey, look at this! I found a party hat and a thong! And I'm like, I'm trying to listen to a cutscene. What the fuck, dude? Or even in the demo, Bethesda devs were coming up to players and they were listening to these very visceral holotapes or these very interesting recordings and interrupting what was going on with the recording and shattering the immersion experience of listening to someone's final words.
So you have no problem with them adding a multiplayer aspect to Fallout. It's just the fact that it's massively multiplayer.
It is the fact that it is effectively an MMO, and it is the fact that it needs to be taken under the same... Have you ever played Knights of the Old? I know it's
Yes.
I know it's
Yes, I
a
have.
bad game. Knights of the Old Republic, the online version.
Oh, no, I played the original.
Okay, if you've played the MMO, one of the things about the MMO is when you go on a flashpoint with 4 other people,
Mm-hmm.
there's this almost reverent, even if you've been on it like 50 times, there's almost this reverent tone. People don't act out in chat once a cutscene begins.
Yeah.
People discuss actively in chat what decision to make and why they want to make that decision, either for meta reasons or character reasons, which brings up something really entertaining for me, is to watch this play out when you have a player trying to do something for a meta reason because they don't want to fight a particular boss, and you have 2 other characters trying to do something for an in-character reason because their character wouldn't make the decision for the meta reason. And I'm like, this is entertainment. This is kind of cool. They got this right. And then you have Fallout 76, where that doesn't have... There's actually one of the biggest things about Fallout 76 that makes me want to cry. Quests don't have consequence, and quests don't have decision. They're fetch quests. They're exploration quests. They're...
You expected Bethesda, they always do fetch quests.
There's no decision to be made. It would be one the reason why you would want to gather the nuclear codes and launch a missile other than just, you want
Resources.
to blow something up.
There is a decision. If you drop a nuke on that area, everything in that area becomes irradiated, like animals, plants, and whatever.
Yeah, I get that. 2 problems. 1, 7 days later when the server resets, the nuclear launch codes are redistributed, the missile is reset, and the nuclear blast zone is removed. I want to launch a nuclear weapon. I want that area to be nuked and it be that way forever. I want the consequence of my decision to blow something up
to
fundamentally change my game world. Furthermore, the only reason you make the decision to launch the nuke is literally so you can get in proper radiation gear and power armor, go into the area, and get the high-level resources and kill the high-level enemies.
That ought to...
At some points I'm having a feeling like you demand so much from that game and like, I want it, so it must be like that.
I do demand a lot from a Fallout game because there's this expectation. Having played through Fallout 1, having played through Fallout 2, I played when I was 10.
I'll give you the best example. Like, I can partly agree from when I played Fallout 4. It's like, after going from New Vegas to 4, like, you obviously had people in New Vegas that you could be a dick to or save or whatever, and by giving certain speech checks, those people would get pissed at you or love you or whatever. And when you go to Fallout 4 and you have a speech check, you might have 4 different options. You might have the nice option, the neutral option, the sarcastic option, and the dick option. But it doesn't matter which of those 4 you pick, the NPC still responds with the exact same line of dialogue, and there's no consequence, there's no karma meter.
Yeah, I miss karma thing.
And one of the things about Fallout 4 that made so many people angry, 1, every single speech option has to have 4 options. And the speech options, and when you break them down and what they really mean, were yes, reluctant yes, sarcastic yes, no, I'll come back and do this later.
Yeah.
There was no option to just say, fuck you. It wasn't there. There was no option to say, I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it my way. It was, do this quest has a set outcome, there's no changes to that outcome, you might get a branch for how that consequence to the rest of the wasteland and the rest of your playthrough for how what you did changed things.
Or even like after you finish the game, like in all the previous games except maybe 3, you had like what happened after your decisions, like what happened.
Every previous game,
No,
yes, you had.
The third one was kind of skip you on that one. You were either evil or good.
Yeah, but the point is you still had the slideshow, and in 4 you didn't have the slideshow.
Wait, no?
There's one cutscene.
The game continues.
There's
You get a credits roll, and then it's back to where you were when the credits roll started.
There is one cutscene that you get, but it's the same cutscene 4 times, where it's just like war never changes, and depending on which faction you joined, you might get a little bit of extra dialogue.
But to give you an example of how things don't change or progress, if I build up the Minutemen, like actually take the time to build those settlements, make the Minutemen a powerful, influential faction, and bring the Minutemen's population up to a sustainable level, which for scientific reference purposes, a sustainable level is minimum 10 men, 70 women in order to prevent inbreeding. So you need 80 people. But let's say I bring it up to 200, and then I fire the Minutemen flare. What comes to my aid?
One random guy with pipe pistol.
People still armed with pipe pistols, no body armor, and just screaming for the Minutemen. And I look over and I go, are you fucking kidding me? One of the best mods I've ever played is the Minutemen progression mod, in which it shows progression and you actually have a character who you talk to and interact with to make decisions for. So the Minutemen will eventually, if you build them up, you get the option, do you stick with ballistic projectile weapons? And if you choose that option, the Minutemen start coming in with Garands and service rifles and New California Republic-style weapons. If you choose laser weapons, then you actually get missions to specifically go attack Brotherhood of Steel outposts to rip away their laser equipment. You get the choice of using traditional body armor, which if you choose that choice, you get missions to go get a bunch of resources and build the body armor and then hand them the body armor you want your guys to use. And after you hand them 7 or 8 sets of body armor, they start building it themselves. So when you launch a flare, if you've gone traditional, your Minutemen show up with Mark II combat armor and assault rifles and Garands and shotguns and grenades and a rocket launcher or 2, and you get a number of people proportionate to your population. So if you have a population of 200, 12 people show up. If you go the other route, you have people showing up with Brotherhood of Steel style weapons. They have full power. There's only 5 or 6 of them, but they have full power armor and Gatling casters and laser weapons and plasma rifles, and they're going to town.
And so then the game crashes because there's too many NPC, I can't handle it.
It actually, I've had very little crashing problems once the load order's built properly.
And that probably brings us to our last point, the power armor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. So the first thing the Bethesda dev that was the biggest mistake to me, this is 25 years after the war.
Yes.
They showed up in a suit of XO2 power armor with a jetpack.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
XO2 was like invented late, like quite late.
XO2 was invented shortly before the events of Fallout 1, 150 some odd years after the bombs fell. Furthermore, they showed up being dropped off by a Vertibuck. Or a Verta...
Well, yeah, let's before we finish with the power, or let me just do the power armor first, and then we'll get into the last thing, which is the lore. But in number 4, you just got given a suit, whereas in previous games, you had to earn the suit. In number 4, it was on batteries. In previous games, once you had fulfilled the requirements, the suit was not on batteries, you got to keep it. So, first of all, how do you want the power armor to work?
If we're going to go with the survival mode, you should have to have batteries, and they should be incredibly rare and hard to find. So using power armor should be a conscious decision that you need it right now.
Fair enough.
Second,
yeah, I agree with that.
Second, I think you should have to put in your perk list under either endurance or intelligence a 3-point card that's called power armor training, and all it does is let you use power armor.
Alright, that's fair. So...
and the reason why I say 3, maybe even 5 points out of your 15 that you can put into that special is because it should be a significant cost to have that advantage.
Yeah.
I also think you should... What I would have wanted from Fallout 4 in relation to power armor is you to find, first off, you find an exoskeleton that has like one piece attached to it and it's rusted shut. So now you have to go get some resources to fix the exoskeleton so it will move.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to then you can move it, but it's slow and cumbersome because you're moving it manually. You lack a fusion core. Then you put a fusion core in it, so now it moves fast. Now you have to go find the pieces, the other arm, the legs, the torso, and the head, and put it all on there. This way, everyone's first suit of power armor
Would be special.
is a hodgepodge mishmash of what the hell, because that's what you assembled. That's what you found. And
I wonder about one thing. Will they put like, we just go to the vault or something and you find a jet, which should not be even invented by now because Myron is not even born.
I don't think we'll find Jet. You want to know why? Because remember what Jet's mechanic is. You take it and the world slows down.
True.
Yeah, but still, they were popping it in other Fallout games even though it's like,
Well,
yeah, but it's...
But yeah, that
not
moves us on
accurate.
to the last point, the lore. So, you've already seen the XO2 suit, and someone has found a letter that talks about the Brotherhood of Steel and a specific event in the Brotherhood of Steel that should not have happened at that point in time. So,
Brotherhood. There's a letter for the Brotherhood of Steel that discusses the events at the Marion base, which doesn't happen for another 80 plus years, and happens on the other end of the continent. There are super mutants. I'm looking at this and going, you could have been more creative than this. Like, you could have made a new faction who was the precursor to the Brotherhood. That would have made sense. Or
No,
you
but
could have
they-
just
they
flat
need
out
to
made...
They need to put their voice in every fucking game.
If you wanted to include the Brotherhood of Steel, it should be U.S. Army Power Armor Special Operations Unit number.
whatever.
I think it's like 3 or 5, but basically it should be the U.S. Army Power Armor Unit that became the Brotherhood, that becomes the beginnings of the Brotherhood of Steel. That's one.
The
2.
one under Maxim.
There are Brotherhood of Steel symbols on items in the game. Excuse me? What? 3. There are super mutants. Excuse me. What? Everybody just gets FEV now. That's lore-breakingly bad writing. Because it creates a plot hole of why the Master took 180 years to come into fruition when FEV is apparently all over the place.
Yeah, I was like, seriously? Come on.
Third important point here concerning FEV, by the way, why can't I step in that stuff and like have random mutations?
I thought that was
Because
like
you're
one of
playing
the
Hero.
ideas. When I saw that E3 presentation, someone stood in the stuff and got rabbit legs or something to jump higher.
That's from them standing in radiation.
Oh.
FEV still doesn't have that as a game effect. And it should. Minor exposure to FEV is supposedly non-lethal to everyone, but it causes mutation.
Spyro wanted to be like his hero strong.
So there's that. I'm not entirely sure what to make. Like, some of the elements here for the lore are actually interesting. There's a part in the early game where you come up to a person who's been petrified. And when you touch them, they disintegrate and radiation pours out of their body. And you get a message that says you feel sick because you now have a disease of some sort that you need to go cure, and that initiates a quest line.
And you know
That
what
is
I
cool.
would, I would do if I would actually see that happening?
What?
I would start singing Adventure Time, come on, grab your friends. Because they have
But-
those mutants like that.
But the point is, that is cool. That is a great way to start a quest. That is a great way to bring you into the world. That is a new element we have not had before. Disease. because disease should be a problem.
We've had disease,
Yeah,
but
in
deal with.
other games there were sicknesses and diseases, but come on, they were like going off after like 1 hour, and you even hardly noticed you were addicted or disease.
excuse me,
Yeah.
no. What about the mole rat disease that you can't cure if you give the cure to that boy?
Yeah, you have that, but I'm saying the player contracting something.
Yeah.
It's, for instance, when you go into what you're talking about is Vault 81, 88.
Yeah.
When you go in there, every time you get bit by a mole rat, you should get sick,
Well,
but you don't.
well, the idea is you get sick once and it's a permanent effect, and if you give the cure to the dying child, then you're stuck with that disease for the rest of the game.
Yeah, but that doesn't actually happen. You don't. There's no point. I could get bit by mole rats hundreds of times during that game and never actually get sick. And that's a problem, because all of those mole rats are carrying literally every disease known to man. I should get sick and die, like just flat out. And Fallout 76 has this element of you can contract diseases and they will kill you. They will provide significant inhibitants. Another thing that I actually like game mechanically and lore-wise is you can no longer just do all the drugs.
I like doing the drug.
Fallout 76 makes it where you can only be under the effects of a single drug at a time.
Yeah.
So
No buffing
If
up
you-
before battle, yes?
so you can be under the effects of a single regeneration type drug or healing effect and a single buff effect at a time. So if you have Rad-X on and you decide that right now is a great time to take some buff out, your Rad-X goes away. If you are using Radaway, you can't shoot yourself with a stim pack because it'll stop the Radaway effect. It makes things more interesting and where you have to analyze what you're doing. I want to see how they do addiction before I make a determination on drugs. I want to see how they do addiction because
I'm so sure they're gonna fuck it up.
it shouldn't be like New Vegas. It shouldn't be like Fallout 4 where I can just take some fixer. And no, it should be like a real problem that you have to work through. One of the best mods I've ever seen for New Vegas is a simple mod that just makes it where fixer is no longer an item in the game, and the ability to cure addiction costs a lot more caps, takes more time. More importantly, it's no longer just the physical addiction that you can get cured in the doctor's office. That will remove the physical debuffs. You still accumulate mental debuffs because you're mentally addicted to the drug until you go a specified prolonged period without the drug. It changes how drugs work to where they are much more realistic and much more influential in, do I use all the drugs now or do I not use them and get through this the hard way? Do I take the cheap, easy route or and pay for it later, or do I fight this the hard way?
One thing I wanna ask, because I did not watch fully, what about caps, money? Like, if there's no NPC, how do you buy stuff?
Robot vendors.
The merchants I have seen are all the two I've seen are robots. This is back to the essential NPC problem. One, they're essential NPCs. I can't kill or rob the merchant because just won't let me. Even hurling grenades at them has no effect. And
It got an effect. You lose a grenade.
And like in Fallout 4, where if you pointed, or Fallout 3, where if you pointed a weapon at a child or it wouldn't pull the trigger. Same thing in 76. If you point the weapon at these robots, your gun physically will not fire at all. I could actually see abuse for this because you could initiate PvP and then stand in such a way that the robot is directly behind you and the game registers the robot and refuses to let the other person shoot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. That is pretty bad.
That is a legitimate thing I'm assuming you can do that, but Bethesda hasn't accounted for it because a lot of the times, as we've talked about with Bethesda games, they rely on modders to fix their games and don't account for the problems they actually have.
Hmm.
I'm still pissed on that method of work. Like at the start, modders were like, "Well, we're here to upgrade the game, make it more fun," and now it's like we're here to fix everything. Bethesda is just like putting on us and starting to be lazy. And I know because I'm a modder myself. Even now I'm modding Skyrim as we speak. So yeah.
Alright then. So the final question. Do you think that 76 was a bad idea or not?
I think 76 was a good idea that it's so incredibly poorly executed that it's polarizing their audience, affecting all of their pre-order sales, and absolutely giving them every form of negative criticism that was thrown at Fallout 4, now targeted at a new game because they didn't listen to their audience in any way, shape, or form with their execution. Was Fallout 4 a good idea? Yes. Was its execution done well? No. Even with the best ideas, even with the absolute best concrete ideas, if you execute it poorly, it will go badly. This, I'm. This is going. This I don't foresee this going well. I don't foresee this service lasting more than a couple years, except for two people who, no offense, Flink, like you, who just want to run around a post-apocalyptic wasteland with guns and have fun. The lack of human NPCs, both friendly and allied, the complete lack of an actual story that has significant impact on the world once it's finished, the lack of adjusting the Fallout mechanics properly, and I'm going to use this cliche, the expanse of an ocean with the depth of a puddle is what we're going to get. And for Fallout fans, anyone who has played New Vegas and before is probably not going to like this long term. They might, enjoy it to start with, and they're just going to fall off because they're not going to enjoy the depth of a puddle. When you jump into a Fallout 2 game or you jump into a Fallout New Vegas game, you enjoy part of the depth because when I make decisions, it changes the world. One of the very first decisions in New Vegas is, do I side with the Powder Gangers, do I side with Good Springs, or do I stand off to the sidelines and let it play out? Any of those decisions changes Good Springs permanently for the rest of your game.
Yeah, even in battle, like, people can die, making everything different.
You make this decision within the first hour of playing the game, knowing very little about the world beyond you've been shot in the head and gotten up.
Okay, and this comes to a argument that I've had.
Wait! I don't have a chance to give my opinion.
Oh no, you will in a minute.
I want to hear Flink's opinion.
Go on.
I think they took a big gamble, but like they realized like too late. They kind of rushed everything, but it was too late. So now they just trying to make people hyped, get as much as they can, and quickly cover it with like, oh sorry, we're now working on Elder Scrolls, so yeah, so we cannot focus so much on Fallout 76. So you have to wait, buying time.
You see, that was going to be the next question. I've had this argument with people over Pokemon Let's Go. Let's Go is looking bad. You can't evolve your starter. There are several things wrong with Pokemon Let's Go. It's basically the Fallout 76 of Pokemon. It is arguably an experiment, and the argument that was presented to me was it's them trying new things. It's them having this as an experiment. Who cares? Just wait till Generation 8 on the Switch in 2019, which is now... Do you think that Bethesda is going to try and spin this as, who cares, just get Fallout 5? And if so, how do you want Fallout 5 to play out?
We are the experiment for which we actually pay a lot.
And what I am genuinely excited over, and I apologize, I think they're doing major construction.
That's fine.
Fallout-wise, what I am actually excited over, Fallout New California, Fallout Miami, Fallout 4 New Vegas, which is, by God, both game mechanically and just from an aesthetic point, absolutely amazing, and Fallout Frontier.
These are
Am
These
I
are
missing
all
something?
community-built mods.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, they made so many games I did not hear about?
No, all of these are built independently from
Yeah, I think the
Bethesda
Miami
using
is
existing
able.
material. New California and Frontier and the Frontier are both built in Fallout New Vegas. Fallout Miami and Fallout 4 New Vegas are built in Fallout 4. But one of the things that's really cool about Fallout New Vegas is they're adding the skills back. They changed the dialogue system to Fallout New Vegas's dialogue system, where you had a bunch of options. You still have a voice protagonist. So I think Fallout New Vegas will show us what Fallout 4 could have been, which I will appreciate. I think Fallout Miami will show us what Fallout 4 could have been without any of New Vegas's trappings, without changing any of the game mechanics. Just what Fallout 4 should have been if we had, if it was based in Miami and if we had actual player choice and agency, because they've already illustrated that they have 18 distinct endings and an ending slideshow for Miami.
oh wow.
The Frontier and New California kind of show us that, New Vegas can still be something amazing. As a matter of fact, New California comes out in 5 days and 18 hours from the time of this interview.
So
I think
like
I saw
you're prepared to just ditch Bethesda now for community-driven stuff, like you've got no hope for Fallout 5.
I'm going to toot my own horn. I had a conversation with someone yesterday. His online name is World Class Hacker. He's not really a hacker. He's kind of a programmer.
Uh-huh.
I have the storyboarding, the information, and because of my relationship with Obsidian Entertainment, I now have a bunch of diary logs from Fergus, one of the original founders of Interplay and original creators of Fallout. He's now the president of Obsidian. We're sitting down and starting the planning phases of building Fallout 4 Fallout, the game. Literally building Fallout 1 in Fallout 4's engine with all of the missing and cut content included. It's a multi-year project. I understand that. But these fan-made projects are the things I'm excited about for Fallout. These total conversion mods that tell stories that we should have heard, that should have been told in the first place, or that take Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas in the direction that it probably should have gone. Project Brazil and the new the Frontier and Miami are all things I'm super hyped for. And Fallout 4 New Vegas, I'm looking at and going, Obsidian and Bethesda, why didn't you do this? And remastering Fallout 1 and 2 as an actual Fallout 4 style with Fallout 4's mechanics, and including like the skill system they're adding from Fallout for the New Vegas mod for Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I really want to do. I really just want to like commit the next 4 years of my life, if I have to getting Fallout 1 and 2 built that way. So no, I'm not excited for 76. I'm excited for these total conversion mods.
Oh, we're past 76, I'm saying. So let's just say this is all an experiment to say, like, okay, people like multiplayer, but not on a massive scale, just a couple of friends. Like, are you excited for Fallout 5, or do you think that Bethesda is a lost cause and you're just going to now focus more on community-based stuff? Like, what do you think about Fallout 5 if they come out and say this was...
I think that so long as Todd Howard is in charge of the Fallout series, and so long as his creative direction for the Fallout series is Skyrim with guns and Fallout trappings, I will never be excited for a new Fallout game from Bethesda.
Fair enough.
Also, don't say too loud to Bethesda you're more interested in community stuff, because they will make a Creation Club even more aggressive. Because it's there where the money is.
Bethesda is a great and amazing at visual storytelling, at telling a story with no words, no information other than what you see and what you feel from what you see.
Yeah, a few skeletons, and you can make the
Like,
story what happened.
there's a park in Fallout 4 where you walk down and you see a couple laying against skeletons in old world clothes, laying against each other, staring off in the direction of where the bomb crater in Boston is. They're sitting on a bench. They clearly died there. And you realize that there are two people who genuinely loved each other, who saw the world ending and knew they were powerless to stop it. And what did they choose to do? They chose to die in each other's arms. That's a great visual story. I know nothing of these two people. I know nothing about them, but that makes me feel something. As soon as, however, in any Bethesda-based Fallout, a character opens their mouth, it falls apart. The writing and character interaction and voiced characters, the voice acting is usually okay or spot on. But the actual words coming out of their mouth, the actual character development, it just feels wrong. And it doesn't feel like a person. It feels like I'm talking to a robot. When I talk to Harold in Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, and even in Fallout 3, when I talk to Harold, the tree, he's a character. I feel progression. I feel his emotions. I understand him. And the words he uses are distinctly his. If I take Preston Garvey's lines, Maxim's lines, Paladin Dance's lines, and Piper's lines, and just have the same person read all of them, you would assume all of them came from the same person. The writing, all of their lines are exactly with the same vocabulary, the same sentence structure, the same cadence, all of it. It's so off-putting. It's like I'm talking to robots, and all of them are robots. I get that Dance is an actual synth and therefore a robot, but they're not all robots, right? It's so disjointed to walk up to someone and they have the same vocabulary, the same cadence, and the same way of talking. It's terrible writing.
You say cadence and I just see like freaking pink alicorn.
I know.
With Spyro voice.
But when I talk to Spyro, and I talk to him with just text, if I took his name away, I could tell who Spyro is. When people talk to me and they see just text, if they have talked to me in the past, they know that's me. The words I use, the way I express myself.
The way you arrange your sentences in text.
Exactly. All of that is different from how Spyro does it. In Fallout 4, none of the characters have... Go ahead. Go like, actually just take the characters' dialogue, remove all of their names, and just read it. You could interpose...
Strong smash! Tinker, tinker, tinker.
Everyone but Strong and Valentine.
And how about Dogmeat?
Dogmeat doesn't have lines. Dogmeat's a dog.
Perhaps that's why they did
everyone
it. Perhaps they knew they were terrible writers. They're like, alright, well, we just won't have any NPCs at all.
So, yeah. So
No, they made
if you want to make Fallout 5, here's what I would say. If you want the perfect Fallout 5 that would get me super hyped, Todd Howard has absolutely no say in how the game is made.
Mm-hmm.
You hire on Bethesda's creative visual team, the people who can tell a visual story. And then for writers, you go hire on the original Fallout writers, or you go hire on people who are willing to sit down as a group and play through Fallout 1, 2, 3, and New Vegas as a group together and see how all of that plays out. And then you tell them, all right, make the next game.
I would even say
Ignore
people from the
everything else.
community, like that Fallout Miami looks really good, and he didn't work at Bethesda, so...
Fallout Miami gives me chills just listening to the dialogue. By the way, I have to disclose this because I forgot to, and I apologize.
That's fine.
I'm in Fallout Miami and Fallout the Frontier as a voice actor.
Oh, shit.
I'm in those as a VA.
Oh, nice.
Oh man.
But the only reason I'm in those as a VA, and the only reason I was willing to do it for free, was because I looked at what they were doing, I heard and saw their characters, and could feel a different character. And I went, hey, you guys want another voice actor? And they're like, what can you do? And I showed them what I could do, and they gave me a part. They're both small, minor roles, but I'm still in them. I wouldn't have dedicated the time and effort to do that if I didn't have faith in the project. And for that, I have to say, that's definitely inspiring when you can look at a project and you can look at the trailer and it inspires faith in the project.
Yeah.
When I look at Fallout 76's trailer, when I look at Fallout 4's trailer now with, nostalgia lens, I don't have faith in those projects.
I mean, it's not even with a nostalgia lens. From the very first trailer that they showed off, a lot of people were like, I don't know.
It's like different game, like I said. But at least you can join some games as voice actor. I'm unable to do so because of my accent.
Depends where they need people.
Depends what they need from you. I give you an example. See, in Fallout the Frontier, I'm playing a ghoul merchant.
I hear a guy with the constipation problem.
Yeah, that red X, it just does all sorts of stuff to your insides that you don't like. Here you go.
Yeah.
See, that's the point here, though. Those projects I have faith in. I can't wait to see what happens next with those projects. I can't wait to get a release date for the Frontier. I can't wait to get a release date for Miami. I'm looking forward to next week on Monday, waking up and going, all right, who's ready for New California? And everybody looks over and goes, what? And I'm like, surprise!
There you go. What about you, Flick? Your thoughts on 76 and Fallout 5? Or like what?
Fallout 5, so far, I don't think there will be Fallout 5 because they're taking too many gambles. And they kinda losing a lot of fan base by doing so. And like, not because they rushing it or just making the bad game, but they not keeping the lore and like they just sitting on their own stuff, which doesn't make sense. And like 76, I will play it because I will play it with friends, have some fun. But probably it will be game I will not play alone.
Well, you can't play it alone. It's got no single player.
No.
No.
Well, then it will be just with you guys. And after that, it will be like collecting dust, and I will be playing Fallout 4, but because I can get mods there and do some role playing and fun stuff for me.
I have heard some people go, I'll play it by myself with that, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. What they have set up here is you have to log into a server. If you play it by yourself, there are other people still on that server.
Yeah.
There's no absolute total solo play for 76. So even months ago, almost a year ago now, oh my god.
Wow.
What the hell?
Okay, even months ago, or almost a year ago now, when I first made a tweet that said hashtag not my Fallout, I'm still standing by that. Fallout 76 is not my Fallout and is not the Fallout I'm looking forward to. And that's where I stand. I'm not going to change that.
Hopefully I will be wrong because like I was also kinda a bit of Fallout 4 kinda looks so colorful. It will be a lame game and look at how much time I did spend in the game already. But no one can tell.
I mean, I've now heard both sides. It's a shame we couldn't get the other one in here, but I'm still extremely skeptical of 76, because as you've brought up, there are many glaring issues. Some I can see the good side of, like there is a lot of people that are like, no multiplayer, just none. Do not put multiplayer in my Fallout game. It's like, I mean, maybe not to this degree, but I wouldn't mind playing with a select couple of people and going through a world with like maybe 3 or 4 people as a team, rather than just being walking around myself. So I'm not against the multiplayer. So they have made a few experimental decisions that could probably pay out and work, but there is still a lot of things like no NPCs that's like, oh, that's... I don't see how you could make that work. So go on.
For me, when 76 comes out, I will buy it. I will stream it once or twice to get a good chunk of 12 hours under my belt and give a review. And that will be the end of what I do with it. I will then immediately go right back to playing New California and Miami. Like, immediately, no questions asked. Just turn around and go back to playing those. Or if there's a build for Fallout 4 New Vegas that's open to the public, or Frontier gives me a release date announcement, I'll turn around and go back to playing those. But I will immediately turn around and go back to playing New California, New Republic, because New California Republic is apparently going to give me at least 20 to 30 hours from a mod of a different experience in a different game. And I'm like, okay, let's go do it.
I mean, if you're going to have that little interaction with it, is it even worth spending your money?
It is worth spending my money because people have asked me to give an opinion and give a review.
Fair enough. I mean, that's kind of the same boat. If you're going to do that, do you want to play it with us on launch day?
When is launch day? Because I have a bunch of cons.
I think November. It's between November 13th and 16th, so it's either 13th, 14th, 15th, or 16th, one of those 4 days.
Sure, I can play it on launch day, but you want to know why? Because my cons will be done and I'll be home. But I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to having to use Bethesda's service, and I'm not looking forward to the no refund clause in Bethesda's service, as well as the we're not handing anyone game keys. And I'm like, so I know for a fact I'm throwing $60 to a game I'm gonna play for less than 20 hours.
Into a fire.
And when it's done and over with, I'm seeing the writing on the wall of the level of community backlash is going to literally, like, there are going to be people who are going to get fired if this goes badly.
That's why I'm worried if Fallout 5 will be a thing, if that will go bad.
Considering it's not listed as a main series game because it's got the number 76 rather than 5, they are going to spin it as it was an experimental title and we wanted to see how multiplayer would work in a Fallout setting, and we wanted to see how all this other stuff would work, and basically you've give us your feedback and we're going to take all this feedback and we're going to make Fallout 5.
No, Spyro, you got it all wrong.
No, that's going to be their
like
statement.
No, listen. It's their game of the future. Like, look how many parts they will have to do, and what will it be like on 76. So we have like 71 shitty parts before that.
And after that, I'm not terribly worried about it. After that point, because as I said, I'm going to go back to playing these community overhaul mods for New Vegas and Fallout 4 that look amazing.
I already do that, but I always like to check some more new stuff.
And I'm going to get to programming my own. I'm going to get to sitting down and hopefully building a team to make Fallout 1 and Fallout 4's engine. Effectively remastering Fallout 1, which we might get a cease and desist over. I don't know.
Probably.
They're not handing a cease and desist over
Don't worry. It's only Hasbro.
No,
and
no,
Nintendo doing
you
it.
don't know about the AAA gaming space flick. Like, if you are using their property, companies will shit all over you. Like, one that I'm actually going to make basically a Jimquisition on in the next couple of days is Activision. This project has been going on for 5 years. They've known about it for 5 years. Activision have directly referenced it, no issue. But now the Reignited Trilogy's coming out, they saw that and they're like, we're just going to put a stop to that Mythmakers fan game. Mythmakers, you're done. And it's like, why didn't you just go to them, talk to them, hire them, whatever, rather than being a dick and just saying, nah, stopped. You already knew
Just
about
wait
it.
5 years.
And when I look at Fallout 4 New Vegas, if Fallout 4 New Vegas comes out, as far as I'm concerned, I have no worries about getting a cease and desist because it's literally a remastered. They're just remastering Fallout 4 and they're just remastering New Vegas and including all of New Vegas's DLCs and cut content as a part of this mod. If that comes out, I have no worries about getting a cease and desist. If Bethesda throws a cease and desist, then I know there's a problem. Then I know that I have to be careful. But I don't think Bethesda will throw a cease and desist because they're already suffering so much backlash and fire for 76 right now that throwing a cease and desist at any fan-made project
Could be lethal.
is going to be like
Lethal.
walking
Yeah,
into
but
a forest
forgetting
fire. And,
AAA rules are kind of stupid. Like, oh, those guys are making us money, getting fans, and reviving our, games so they are on the sale again. What should we do? Thank them? No, cease and desist them because we are assholes. Yay!
but if they do that, I think the level of backlash will be the equivalent of going into a forest fire and instead of fire retardant, you throw napalm on it.
Knowing
It's not.
How about AAA we talking about? Like EA or like something less?
Like
EA, if you are already in this much of a bad situation and you annoy people even more, you are going to have a Battlefront 2 situation where all of Reddit and 4chan and all these other forums are going to be taking you apart piece by piece.
and furthermore, EA that has reported drops in growth and sales from the backlash they've received over a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that
And-
wouldn't be the fact that they refused to follow the law in Europe and now they're fighting the entire European Union to keep fucking boxes in their FIFA game.
Yeah, and so that's what the Bethesda has to look at the situation with EA and go, we have to keep the community's goodwill. What do? Because if they don't keep the community's goodwill, it ain't gonna go well. And right now,
For you.
that's everything I've got to say. I'm not looking forward to 76. I'm not looking forward to doing a review of it. I'm not looking forward to... I know I'm going to have to sit down and do like theory and stuff. Like I did the theory crafting video that 76 is not a control vault.
Yeah.
And that actually exploded on Reddit. I've got 300 upvotes on the Game Theories Reddit page net, so I did something right. But I'm not looking forward to having to do theory crafting and stuff for 76 because part of the problem that I'm going to run into is without a private server,
You can't do it.
if I want to record something or do something in particular and somebody comes in and like interferes or disrupts that, I basically have to start over.
Can you not fap while talking?
I mean, I suppose the only other thing you could do, I don't even know how it'd work if you were trying to do something, but like get me on standby and try and block the exits so that you can have the room to yourself.
I don't know if that's going to be entirely possible. Especially since when you log out, you despawn where you logged out. If somebody, let's say I'm in a bunker,
Yeah.
trying to get some footage and trying to get some specific items that will provide me with some information, and somebody spawns in and grabs the holotape.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do. I'm SOL. I just have to wait for the holotape to respawn in 7 days, or whatever the respawn timer for the server is going to be set to. Right now, I think the respawn timer is set to 7 days when they do server maintenance on Tuesday.
Spyro, 7 days to die. Wait 7 days for tape to respawn.
Which means that, you know, that I don't foresee a lot of fan projects being done with 76, and that's part of what keeps Fallout 4 going, and what keeps New Vegas going is those fan projects. And I don't foresee people doing a lot of fan projects with them because it's hard to do when random person number 742 just drops in and interferes with what you're doing, or you can't mod the game or access the game's command console to do your fan project. You just kind of have to just roll with what you got. And
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm guessing the creation kit, once it will be out, it will be only for the paying customers, like to pay extra.
I'm really thinking that in a year when they release mods and private servers, you're gonna have to rent a server through Bethesda. You can't own your own server, or there won't be any real option to use a server outside, and all mods will only be through the creation kit.
Probably.
If it's not on the creation club, the game simply won't allow you to run the
I
game.
mean,
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Like, they made creation cap not for Fallout 4, but it like, okay, so people will know it's around. But when the next game come out, everything will be just creation cap, no free mods.
I mean that is of course
And-
assuming that this game will last an entire year.
That assumes this game lasts an entire year. I am bracing my YouTube feed for the backlash that's gonna hit.
Well,
if
we'll
it go-
see.
if-
I'm planning to have fun either way. And how long
if-
it will
if-
be, we'll see.
I want to quantify that statement. I'm bracing myself for the backlash if it goes poorly. If it goes well and it turns out it's not bad, and my preconceived notions of what I have seen and experienced so far from their promotional materials is wrong, I will be more than happy to admit I'm wrong and say it's a good game.
That's a healthy approach.
But understand that from what I've seen so far, what I've experienced so far, that's an uphill battle.
I think that's
Okay, guys, I need to go
that's
now.
fine. We're ending this
And-
now anyway.
And
It was fun.
I need to get to work on some other stuff, and my hot water just got turned back on, so I can go shower.
But yeah, my thoughts are kind of the same. From what I've seen, I'm still skeptical. I've heard all your negatives, and half of them I do agree with. I do know the positives to these negatives. Like, I've heard people defending a lot of the things that you've criticised, and that's on the good side of this interview, which I'm probably going to split into two parts because we went for longer than we should. But yeah, I'm gonna play it with you. I'm gonna just go into it with a neutral stance. Like, I know there's no NPCs. I know the bad reason why there's no NPCs. I know the good reason why there's no NPCs. And I'll see for myself how exactly that'll play out in the world when we're in there. And as for the whole thing, I don't mind at this current point. I don't mind Fallout 76. It was a way for Bethesda to experiment with certain aspects like multiplayer, and I am more than happy for a company to experiment it. I'd like them to just openly admit it rather than trying to make this false narrative. But if you want to experiment, then just say it's an experiment. Because I've had an idea of a Fallout game, be it a fan-made project or something official that they could play the idea with, where you get to play as the other races that have certain attributes. So let's just say you were playing as a Assaultron, you were made in a factory in sometime in the future. You can't pick up guns, you are restricted from picking up guns, but you could upgrade your arm to have a cannon. Or if you were playing as a super mutant, you take less damage and you can fire big, heavy, fat man, thick cannons, but you can't pick up pipe pistols because your fingers are too fat. So that'd be kind of a nice idea of them to experiment with playing with the different races. Or what happens if you play as a ghoul? You can go into irradiated areas. If you wanted to make that again a spin-off, it's fine. But as for Fallout 5, you need to go back to what people like, what the fans are obviously asking for, and yeah.
And from what I can tell, what the fans are asking for is, please take us back to
Fallout 1 and 2.
To Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas, the gritty, real experience. Let us remove essential MP. Let it just be us going into a world and how we change that world from our actions, and don't restrict us on what those actions can and cannot be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just let us go nuts.
As I say though, like,
because like you can finish Fallout 3 in an hour if you just kill everyone who gets in your way and do Little Lamplight's quest. You can finish the entire main story in an hour if you just go happy murder hobo spree.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That's a way you can play the game.
Yes.
That's fine. You can't do that in Fallout 4. It physically just takes too long to do anything.
Yeah.
And you're tied to completing these story quests that you must complete. And so, and somebody needs to go remind Bethesda that Fallout 3 and New Vegas and Fallout 1 and 2 were never power fantasies.
The thing is,
You achieved a power fantasy towards the end of the game.
the thing is, like,
But
I do know that there is at least someone at Bethesda that's trying, because Far Harbor came close. Like, there was 3 different factions.
it was so
yeah,
close.
There was 3 different factions, and once you got that nuclear key, you could take it to the Child of Atom and blow the submarine. You could take it to the robot monk and give it to him for safekeeping, or you could take it to the guys at the dock at Far Harbor. Like, it was there. There's somebody that's trying, but they just barely missed it.
And Nuka World was close, except for they had one distinctive problem. They decided to cut the entirety of the quest line that happens if you decide to just murder all of the raider gangs and take over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that should be a decision, and then you should decide to either become your own super raider faction or become, like, you know, bring the Minutemen to Nuka World. But the thing is, they didn't do that. If you kill all the raider factions, that just kind of ends the DLC. It's over. You can go do side quests, but they have no real impact on your ending. And I'm like,
You know something else I hated about Nuka World? As I was clearing it out, like, considering there's a crafting system, you couldn't repair it. Like, I love the mod Nuka World Repaired.
yeah, you couldn't. That's my biggest gripe with the crafting system in Fallout 4, and in 76 is going to be my biggest gripe. I can't build really stuff that doesn't look like it was just salvaged and scrapped together. How do you survive the winter in Boston?
I mean, playing a lot of...
These buildings have no solid windows, no airtight, no semi-airtight doors, holes in them everywhere, and no insulation. Winter's a thing in Boston, and it gets sub-zero.
My biggest problem is going to be, because I've played a lot of crafting games like Minecraft and stuff. I can build. My biggest problem is going to be my building is going to mean nothing. It's like, I could build us the nicest mansion. Like, we could get as many people as we want. We could have a 13-story, 26-bedroom mansion. It's going to look nice. But then...
And then you log out and it
yeah,
disappears.
you're going to log out and it's gone. Or, if you are playing, someone can just throw a nuke at it and remove all your hard work.
Or someone can just come in and break it apart traditionally and remove all of your hard work. Or the person who is... The poor person who's building all of this just has to stay perpetually logged in so everyone else can use it.
Again, it's not it's that, but it's like you've built that really nice house for your team. Even if you just stayed logged in, you're just sitting there like, I don't mind staying logged in. Nuke. Or 6 hours of work wasted. There it all goes. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go edit this It's going to be pretty much stored till November, until the game's out, so that all 3 parts released together with, like, the review. But we got it. We got him.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go to the bath. I'm gonna go shower and take care of myself now. I hope all of you enjoyed this. Hopefully, Insane remembers to put people's links in the description. I'm
I
Fiaura.
always do.
Good night, everybody.
See you in a bit, Fiaura. And with that, we're going to go do... Well, with that, I might as well just keep this rolling for a minute. As she said, thank you all for watching. There will be a link to Fiora's channel down below where we do a podcast. Oh, we've been doing it for quite a while now. We do a podcast weekly about technical opponents and how well the show's going. As well as she said, Fallout coverage, be it fan-made, community-made things. And right now, Fallout 76, where you're going to see the actual full review after you hear the good side, which will be performed by this girl here, Crystal. We tried to get Flick, but I think he was a little bit out of it myself, so yeah. But anyway, we'll end the negatives and us criticising the game. We'll go into Crystal's good side, and then you'll have heard both sides, and you'll be coming in with an open mind. So yeah, that's good. How long did this last? It lasted 2 hours. Oh fuck, it lasted 2 hours. My bad. Oh dear, my bad. But yeah, so thank you all for watching. If you can't wait to hear the good side, then do please feel free to subscribe. And if you can't wait for both mine and Fiaura's reviews, as I say, bing the bell and subscribe for my review here. Link to her channel for her review over there. There's links down below to my public Discord where you can come in and chat with me down below as well as a link to my Patreon if you'd like to support me further. And I am going to also follow Fiaura's advice, and I'm also going to go to the bathroom and sort my own sort of stuff out. So bye bye, I see you in the next one. I love you. And there you go, that was the podcast. It lasted a lot longer than I expected. Also, Spyro, or past Spyro, is a complete liar because Crystal's good side went up first as the blind expectations versus the harsh reality that does face us for 2 days. Today is Monday night. It's 10 o'clock Monday night, so by the time this goes up, it's probably going to go up like 1 a.m. Tuesday morning for me, so it's pretty much tomorrow. So yeah, that's the you've heard the expectations. Some of those expectations have already been shattered and proved as vague delusions of the crazy people, and we got the harsh realities. Obviously, for the story reason, I still did want to end this by getting the nuclear key, which took an extra hour, as you can see from this stream. We were streaming this all the way, and boy howdy, did I really underestimate just how harsh Far Harbor is when you are like at level 10 with no medkits, no Radaway or Rad-X, and no ammo. That's a lot of the reasons why it was taking so long, because like as you saw with the Assaultron fight, if you were watching the footage, I just got my ass kicked over and over again by the Assaultron. Like, level 10 versus Death Laser, you're dead in one shot. So I had to do that thing in the kitchen where, because the Protectatron's body was in front of the kitchen door, it couldn't get in. So I had to cheese it. I had to like bug it out and be like, oh yeah, I can shoot you and you can't shoot me. And that's how we're going to get around it. And if you noticed, when I engaged in this computer minigame, there is a legendary Assaultron literally waiting for me the second we finish this final simulation, ready to shoot me dead. So I've got to be quick when I get out of here. But yeah, that's the good, that's the bad. The game's coming out in 2 days. Both me and Fiaura have got the Bethesda launcher downloaded. Oh dear God, it is still terrible. And we also both have got Fallout 76 preloaded. Like, I did it today while I was putting this 3-hour video together. So I was doing this today and it took 3 hours to download, and it was just like, jeez, that's not good at all, that's terrible. So yeah, it's really slow and clunky. Fiaura was right. Like, I guess she's played Fallout Shelter or something, a different one, but when downloading a game from the Bethesda launcher, oh god, it does eat your internet something terrible. So that's the thing. That's the thing that's happening right there. And yeah, that's basically everything that everybody's got to say. I don't think I'm also in a call with Moon because I can't talk to myself for literally an hour while we finish off running and getting the key and ending on the story reason why Fallout 4 can very easily transition back and forth between 4 and 76. We also have another person joined. It's Mr. Blame. Hello.
Did you see the not safe for work, Mr. Coral?
No, not yet. I've been putting a video together and I'm still recording about Fallout 76.
Oh.
What?
Why are you still bothering with Fallout?
Because it's not out yet. It's coming out in 2 days.
Well, you're coming out tomorrow, Mr. Coral.
I know. I've got to stream the Reignited trilogy tomorrow.
Oh, and where's the rest of the review, Mr. Coral?
Well, it's getting there. There's a lot of stuff. It's Christmas time. It's the time of giving all your money to big corporations to buy their shit. There's a lot of shit that we've got to stream. We got to stream the Reignited trilogy tomorrow. Then we got to stream Fallout 76 on Wednesday. Then we got to stream Let's Go on fucking Thursday, Friday. There's so many things.
Very bad, Mr. Coral. You had so long for the review, Mr. Coral.
I know.
You have all the footage, Mr. Coral, and everything. You're not doing it, Mr. Coral.
I'm doing
As
it.
you can see, Blame is kind of the micromanager here.
Yes. The thing is, he only ever micromanages Paladins. If it's any other review, he doesn't give a shit. He just wants to see me fap over Drogos for 60 minutes.
Apparently.
So yeah, we're gonna finish this last puzzle now. As you can see, we've basically made a giant circle, and you just gotta get this last block off here, and then everything will line up to complete the final puzzle. And then we just gotta go grab the launch key and the other bit where I'll have to apply some, or get the launch key and then get back to the nucleus with the launch key, which is where we'll do a little bit of editing magic. So yeah, I've done a 2-hour podcast, so I literally don't know what to say. I'm out of things to say. Laughing doesn't help me.
Well, you can also say how the launcher doesn't uninstall for some people.
Doesn't it? I haven't really looked into this story. What is going on with the launcher?
Well, supposedly you know how when people got the beta kit,
Yeah.
the beta keys,
Yeah.
people could actually refer friends or something like that. Where, for example, if you don't have the pre-order, but the guy that pre-orders it, like for example, if you pre-order it, you get like 5 beta keys,
Right.
something like that.
Okay.
So basically, you could play with Flake, Fiaura, whoever else wants, and you can play for the beta. But if, like for example, if Fiaura says, "Oh no, this game is shit," and I don't want to buy it, and she tries to uninstall it, well, you can't uninstall it apparently because you're not the lead account that got the beta, so you don't have the right to like uninstall the beta, so it's stuck in your PC.
But how's that work though? Because surely, like, if you're uninstalling something from your PC.
No, but since the account that used it is in another PC, something I don't know how the fuck they messed this up because it shouldn't be like that. But apparently, if it's not the accounts, the same account or something, it doesn't uninstall.
Oh damn.
Yep. So you're stuck with a pretty bad launcher.
Oh wait, the launcher. You can't even uninstall the launcher itself.
The launcher or the beta. Like, you have to uninstall it from the launcher or something like that, but you can't uninstall either.
Oh damn.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Another great move by Bethesda, putting a bug in the launcher. It's not a bug, it's a feature.
It's a feature. It's like those.
We're gonna have to wait a whole another year for another part of the review, Mr. Borg.
No, you're
For
not.
another one. See, you only want that Paladins review, don't you?
Because the squirrel always makes excuses, Mr. Borg.
What happens when I review Smash? You give a shit about that one because you bought a Switch specifically for Smash.
Well, and I wanted Super Mario Party.
Because you're a Smash throw. Well, we all are, but like, you were like, oh, I don't like consoles. This is why I like PC more.
I don't like consoles. I just like Smash.
But you just like Smash. And
I don't like consoles, but I'll buy a Switch for that Smash. I mean, honestly, Blame, if you travel a lot, like if you go on car rides and shit, I can see you getting a lot of use out of your Switch.
Except I don't. And if I did, I don't like using things when I'm going around. I can't do anything but listen to music, maybe, and even then, that's it.
Oh shit.
I think that was the whole point of the Switch.
Oh yeah, wasn't there an advert where she put like earphones in? That Japanese girl put earphones
No,
in.
that's it was for Smash too. It's for Smash. Now you can listen to the Smash songs like a fucking MP3 player.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There you go. You can still listen to your music. It's still an MP3 player. Oh damn! I just realised this is gonna be like a 3.5 hour stream. That's also gonna have a little bit of editing in it because of Fiaura and Flick's pictures, and the bit at the end. This is gonna take ages to fucking render. Like, you all up for Monopoly in about an hour?
An hour? I don't think so because I have class.
Oh shit!
I mean, you can play with the other guys if you want.
As if they're around. I mean, if that's the case, there's gonna be a long session of Save the World. Oh god, I just realised past Spyro also built this fucking super bridge to protect
Mr. Borg, if Mr. Borg put all his Fortnite hours into doing the video, Mr. Borg would have been done. Mr. Borg.
Well, I play Fortnite, or at least Save the World aspect, because the Battle Royale thing pisses me off sometimes, but I play Fortnite when a video is rendering. Like, when a 3.5 hour edited stream is going to render, it's probably going to take like 4 hours to fucking render, and it's like, well, can't do anything on Camtasia for 4 hours because it's rendering a video. Guess I'll just fucking play Save the World. Can't do anything else. It's either Save the World or like try and complete another run of Luigi's Mansion. And I've already done that game like 3 times, so I don't feel like it again.
You know, you could just record the audio for the video, Mr. Borg, and then you could.
The audio's done. That's it. The audio's done. Like Okay.
Why taking so long, Mr. Boros? Everything done. The recordings are done. The voice is done. Why is everything done, Mr. Boros?
Alright, let me put it this way. There are 12 pieces of audio, you know, from like where I stop and start, and then the visuals to go with them. At this current point, I have done 9 of the 12 pieces of audio. So 9 of the 12 audios and visuals are edited together. I've just got 10, 11, and 12 left. And 12 will be easy because 12 is the final verdict where I don't need that many visuals. It's just 10 and 11 I've got left to do.
The bad Mr. Boros.
Just got no patience, mate.
Oh no patience. A whole year and a half now.
Mate, it's not even... No, hold on a minute. It's not even been out of beta a year and a half. Because every time I was like, oh, I'm gonna...
You were supposed to do one.
No, because...
Before OB64, you say, okay, I'm gonna do one right now. Then OB64 happened. Oh, no, I gotta extend
No,
it
you
now.
know why? You know why?
OB64 happened into fucking January. And now...
Yeah, but you know why? Because after OB64, I was making it, and I had people like fucking you and Wonderbolts being like, yeah, but Spyro, it's still in beta. You can't criticize it because they'll fix it before official release. It's still in beta. It's still... You can't criticize something if it's still in beta. It's like, alright then. I'll sit here and I'll wait for its final release. And it's only been...
back in January, Mr. Boros.
That was not in January.
Mm-hmm.
It was not. OB70 was not in January. Try more like June. It's been about 4 months.
It said for some reason the Paladin site is down.
And you want him to review the game that is down.
No, Paladin game was on. I just logged in.
The site
The website.
the site's down. It can't listen to Blame anymore. It's like, oh god, he's back to say Spyro still haven't made the review yet. Quick, shut the forums down.
I said Paladin's launched out of beta on all platforms. Oh, whatchamacallit? It was the open betas of the consoles were earlier.
You really don't want to know why they got out of beta.
It said Paladin's officially launched out of beta on all platforms on May 8th, 2018.
You want to know why they got out of beta?
So that's a long time ago, Mr.
They got out of beta just to shit it out so that they can work on Realm Royale.
No, because you can't put a beta on the Switch.
No. It's also because they wanted to work on Realm Royale. Like, they don't have to put as much attention into it. And even though, because I played...
Oh, I could download that just to be funny. I forgot I can download that.
And I played it like 2 days ago, where I recorded the last bit of audio for part 11, which is to do with them not fucking doing shit. And to this day, November 11th, to this day, their loading screen still has unfinished art on it. And it's like, are you fucking joking me? You've been out for out of beta for 5 months.
The next patch should be coming out, I think, tomorrow or Wednesday.
Well, mate, nobody's gonna be playing it tomorrow. It's a Reignited Trilogy tomorrow. Nobody's gonna give a fuck about Paladins tomorrow.
Actually, yeah, no one's gonna play any other game.
Like, all this week is booked. If you're an Overwatch or a Paladins or even a Fortnite, and it's like, oh, we got our weekly update, those weekly challenges, it's like, well, yeah, that's fine, but ain't nobody got time this week. We got Spyro, Fallout 76.
Mr. Borb, I see it on my Switch, Mr. Borb.
What do you see?
The Paladin, Mr. Borb.
Oh yeah, doesn't it have this the freaking pirate logo or whatever?
Do you have to pay for the online to play Paladins on the Switch now?
No.
I think you don't.
Oh no, you just had to pay. You just had to pay to play it early.
Like 1 month early.
Yeah, buy our free to play game. You can play it 1 month early if you buy our free to play game.
Whatchamacallit, you don't gotta pay to play outside games. It's only for Nintendo games you have to pay for the online. Well, or
no, it's
not necessarily just Nintendo games. Technically, there are third-party games. Any Nintendo Switch game you have to pay for.
no, it's
That is not free.
No, it's an opt-in system. I've seen the contract. Basically, like, when someone signs up to the Nintendo Online, like a company, just say like Paladins, if someone buys a online account to specifically play Paladins, like, I guess it's to do with how many hours in each online game they play, or I don't know how exactly they work it out, but let's just say like you're playing nothing but Paladins and you bought the online service specifically for that game, and that's the one that's got your most amount of hours in. High Res gets 2% of that online purchase. So if it's $20, then High Res sees like 2%, but obviously because it'll obviously run into the billions, those 20 cents start adding up because a lot of people have bought it specifically for that one game. So it's
I wonder how many people play on the Switch.
quite well.
The Paladin.
It's not really sure to know because apparently the Switch one is like a different
thing.
servers.
But keeping on topic, we're now out of the simulation, and we're now going to get the key to bring it back to narratively transition into Fallout 76 because of what the guy says when you get the key. So let's now go and get the key.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go and get the key, which is Mew. That is a $40 fucking paywall. God damn. Also, this loading screen is taking an incredibly long time.
It's Bethesda, what do you expect?
Well, no, all the other loading screen. Maybe, like, I've just not noticed it because I was talking to Fiaura, but that one in particular then, it was just like, that's really damn long. Oh.
Oh, were you done with your recording, Metropole? To check them on safe for work? I want to see what you say, Metropole.
I'll just check the recording now. I mean, it's just Audacity, which is running in the background. Because, as I say, it's now a long... Really? Piranha plants?
Like your piranha plant, Metropole? Hmm?
Yes, I like the piranha plants.
Do you like the piranha plant, Metropole?
Did you saw Jim's puppet?
Yeah.
I told you there was a puppet.
Yeah, I knew there was a puppet. I was thinking of getting one, but it's just like extra money. It's like, I'll wait.
Yeah, you can wait.
Nah, Moon, you know what you need? You need the... Have you seen the piranha plant doing the default dance?
I shared that with you.
Did you? Was it you? I know a few people like sent me the piranha plant doing the default dance because I edit video so I can use it in videos.
Yeah, I think I did it the first time. But yeah, I saw it.
Nice.
Also, you know what other amiibo is coming out in February apparently?
What?
The King K. Rool.
I don't know how much I care about King K. Rool.
Nah, me neither. I mean, it's just because Nintendo showed it up, but honestly I would get the piranha plant.
All I'm gonna get is the Piranha Plant and Ridley. Like, I really don't give a shit about amiibos. I mean, I'm giving my little Mac amiibo to Alex for Christmas because, like, I don't give a shit about all of them. I just like the Metroid and the Piranha Plant.
I wanted either Ridley or Wolf, but well, that's not gonna happen either.
I'll see what goes on. I might be able to get your Ridley. They'll probably have extra in my store.
Nah, I mean, what pisses me off is they're clearly going to have it, but like, I think they're not going to like there's no stock supposedly, but I think I know why, because it's like the Black Friday here this week.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that they don't want to sell it with the discount.
Why does it come out on
And
Black
it's
Friday?
on Amazon. No, but like you can pre-order it right now.
Oh, okay.
But right now there's going to be like discounts and stuff.
Well, not every item has to be discounted on Black Friday.
But that's like, but since they put it like video games in general, they have to discount it, because also in Amazon it's there in Amazon, but it's like it's $25.
All right.
So it's really expensive. So fuck it.
Fair enough. And now you're going to see where I failed the most. So remember when I said I really underestimated Far Harbor with only 16 ammo and no meds and a load of radiation? Well, I get to sneak into the Super Mutant Hotel and, well, I'm already dead before I can do anything. Otoma Shinteru Nani? Yeah. It's, we just have to basically plot out our course by dying several hundred times, because we can't fight these guys because I've A, got no health to fight them, B, got no ammunition to fight them, C, got no health to fight them if I use a melee weapon, and D, they can just one-shot me because they're like level 70, because I underestimated just how hard it'd be to actually get this key for the joking story narrative of how we get to 76. Oh my, that's not good. So, enjoy me sneaking around and getting shot and dying a whole bunch of times. What are you laughing at?
I'm trolling someone with a quad bike.
Oh, you're in full. I suppose after, like, when this is... I can't even... That's the thing, like, I can't even play Battle Royale with you while it's rendering, because it just sucks up, like, online connectivity. The most I can do is just fuck around in my base on Save the World.
I think I killed him. I don't know.
Is he there? Oh, I could play Stardew Valley. I've heard a beep. What is the beep?
The beep.
It had to be done. What is this that's being shown? Okay. Of course. Overall, the game's clearly it's a Pokemon game with just a few tweaks to lure in uninitiated audience. It's not a competitive game. Some players want, but it's at its soul a true Pokemon game. People still... There is nothing wrong with Let's Go at all. Piece of shit.
I mean, it's Serbia. What did you expect?
It's like... there are problems with it. I'm not saying it's 100% bad, but just like admit the problems. Like you can't evolve your starter. No. No.
No, because the Nintendo has to pay them. Remember?
Yeah, but they're not paying Tyler or Mighty. That's why it's like, just admit that it's got problems like you can't evolve your starter. No. No. It's perfect. 100% perfect.
No, you wanna know what's a really bad thing? And I like gave it a thumbs down.
What's that?
IGN's review of the Reignite trilogy.
Oh, what did they say?
They were like, "Oh, Spyro controls really amazing. Oh, it has really nice graphics. Oh, the worlds are amazing. Oh, even though they're easy now that we're adults, the worlds are actually pretty cool and colorful and everything." And guess what they gave it?
What?
8.5.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's like an okay score. 8's still good.
It's still good, but then again, you didn't say any like negative aspect.
Well, you know what the negative aspect is. It like
Blizzard and having to download it.
Yeah, but like a big corporation is not gonna say that. It's like, I'm telling you right now, as much as I would love to give myself a perfect score because I am the most perfect dragon to ever live, I can't. Like, at minimum, at the absolute minimum, I can give Reignited 4 out of 5. I can't give it a perfect 5 out of 5 because of the fucking 2 games being downloadable bollocks. And it's like, I can say that, and in the review I'll say that, but if you're someone like IGN or Game Explain, oh yeah, Spyro controls amazing, the graphics are amazing, the worlds are cool, 8 out of 5. What's the negatives? What? Well, you give it an 8 out of 5, you must find something negative. No, is it the download thing? Shh! Shh! It's the download. Shh! Don't let Activision hear you say that. Yeah, but it's that. We want to get the review copies. If we say that, we might not get a review copy.
If Game Explain doesn't point out the download, it's gonna be like really stupid because they clearly said that they didn't agree with the online.
Well, the thing is,
like
if their review
when the direct came out, they were like, "Oh, well, I mean, it's not that great. I don't really see this like being really appealing." But then when the virtual thingy came out, when the NES games came out, oh, they're so fun. It's like, fucking hypocrites.
Well, if the review's already up, then they clearly haven't pointed out the download thing.
The review is up, but I don't know if it's different from the written review.
The what?
Because they have to write it down and it's up on their website.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't matter. Like, you should still be saying it in your spoken review as well.
Yeah, but as you said, it's IGN, so if they want them review codes.
Oh wait, it was IGN, not Game Explain.
No, IGN, but maybe Game Explain will upload one because they also do PS4 reviews now.
Oh, well, why are you taking IGN seriously? These are the same guys that give fucking Call of Duty a 10 out of 10.
I don't know, because it's the only review that has been out there. You thought it was Game Explain.
Hmm?
You thought it was freaking Andre Seegers.
Well, I won't put it past him. After all crap he says about Nintendo, where it's like, oh, they're so great, Star Fox Zero is amazing. It's like, shut the fuck up. Star Fox Zero is not amazing, Andre. Don't lie. Next, you're gonna be the completionist and say Star Fox Zero's controls are great.
I mean, he pretty much did kind of the same. they had to suck Nintendo's.
Yeah, but he didn't openly say it. He danced around it, whereas the completionist was like, "This is not a paid opinion. My opinions are my own, and the controls are good. You just gotta get used to them." Which just comes to the point of, if you have to get used to controls, then you failed at making the controls good in the first place. Good controls are, you just press the buttons and it works without having to get used to them.
Yeah, actually. Then again, it's freaking Nintendo, so what can we do about?
Yeah. Damn, I gotta keep this going for another 30 minutes. Hmm?
Sean.
What?
Damn.
I've got
that you have to keep going on for like freaking
30 minutes.
forever.
I mean, I know people have got a laugh from me dying, and it's not too bad because it's just the length of a Vinesource stream, but well, I'm running out of a little bit of steam right now. Luckily, we've got the location of the key, so then we just have to get the key and bring it back. But damn, dude, it was a long and hard trail to make sure that we got all this footage. Tomorrow's gonna be a long day. Tomorrow is gonna be a long stream as well. You think this?
Because of the Boros?
Hmm?
Because of the Sporos?
Yeah. But it's more, you think this stream's long? Wait till you see tomorrow's stream. That's gonna be like 16 hours, because 4 of those hours are gonna be spent just downloading the 2 games.
Download hype.
I'm gonna do it just to prove the point to Activision and everybody else. Like, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna start streaming, and I'm gonna put the disc in, and I'm literally just gonna stream the 5, 6, 7 hours it takes to download both games. Like, it's just gonna be a download screen for like 6 hours, because like I'm so angry at Activision Blizzard for pulling that shit. We're just playing Magikarp Jump. Do you not have a phone to check while you wait? You guys have phones, right?
Yeah, you don't have phones to watch the stream?
Fucking dicks.
What's more hilarious is the confidence of how he said those words.
I mean, part of it, like, you could tell the guy he shouldn't have gone to that extreme, but at the same time, you knew that he knew he was kind of beaten, and he was just like, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to win anyway, because everybody's saying, oh, is this an out of season April Fool's joke, and then it's like, oh, it's not going to be on PC, so people are booing, and it's like, well, what are we going to do? We can't win. It's clear that this game is going to be shit, and everybody's now just treating it as shit, so fuck it, we might as well just try and fight back a little bit. Didn't help, like, but you knew when he was beat. Yeah, I'll have some stuff.
Didn't help at all.
Well, I mean, but yeah, if you know when you're beat, you might as well just give it a go and be like, we're not gonna win anyway.
Commit to it.
Yeah. Double down.
Double dare. But yeah, it's just. You wanna know what's funny? And someone pointed it out on one of the videos that I saw on the comments.
What's that?
There was actually an April Fool's joke from Blizzard that was a mobile Diablo game.
Really?
I don't know. I mean I'm not a PC gamer, but apparently it is.
What?
If that's true, I mean.
I need to look into that to see if that's true.
Yeah, I mean, too. If that's true, it's like okay then.
If that's
I would say
true,
upturned.
if that's true, I will literally be like saving that picture and that particular tweet and being like, gotcha.
I mean, then again, it could have been before the Activision Blizzard monstrosity.
I mean, it doesn't matter because Blizzard still put the auction house into Diablo 3. Blizzard's like guilty even without Activision's help.
Really?
Yeah. Before Activision merged with them, Blizzard's been a scummy piece of shit. Come on, Blizzard made Overwatch like before Activision merged with them.
Yeah.
And they have all the.
Oh, I thought that was after they merged.
No, Overwatch is like 3 years old. The merger only happened like 2 and a bit years ago. And remember, this. It was officially released 3 years ago, which means it's been in development for like 5 or 6 years. You know, because games don't just come out like that. They have to have shit happen. So like,
what was the stupid founders pack for? I thought it was like because they needed the money or something.
No, the Founders Pack was literally just to be like, hey, you can get some extra skins.
Fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, back then, that was when Blizzard was still a good boy, because I bought the Founders Pack. I think it was Overwatch where shit started to, where you could see Blizzard starting to turn though, because like Diablo, well, I mean the auction house was the first sign, like, oh, you know that auction house, those
They
real,
had to put it out because of fan backlash, I suppose.
yeah, where it's like, oh, that auction house, those real world money transactions, don't know about that. Then they removed it. Then Overwatch came out, and it's like, well, everybody loves it, but ooh, them loot boxes. And then the Activision merger happened, and it's like, that, you know, Blizzard was already on a downhill slide, but Activision has been the bad influence. What's the word? They've been the enabler. Okay. I'll move in a minute. Right, how are we doing? We are currently getting the key out of the boat, or we might even have the key and we're on the way back. I can't tell.
You may have to pay to get the key because now it's all microtransaction.
Oh yeah.
In fact, you know what, YouTube, to see if Spyro gets the key, you have to pay like $20 right now, please.
Yeah, I just cut it off here. Do I get the key or do I just give up? But I do think I've actually. I mean, I'll be honest. I think I actually got the key because it looks like I'm walking back right now. Because in between, like, doing the remaining audio for this video to end it narratively, I'm also finishing the colouring on Lightning Dust for the first of the 2 podcast pictures, and then the second this starts rendering, I'm going to finish sketching out the Inglorious Bastards one where everybody's taunting Applejack with bananas.
Oh, you haven't done that?
No, I've had this. I've had this and all the other shit to do.
I'm sounding like blame. Sorry.
You know what? I should just link you all to the Underpants April Fool's Genesis run. Right, it's like, you're fighting Sasa! You wanna have a bad Tom? And it's just got like the words, thanks for rushing me.
Sorry.
Nah, it's alright. Yeah, I'm definitely...
So you know, in better news that don't have to do with, I mean, it has to do, but whatever, fuck it. Snoop Dogg finally got his copy.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I got a gold chain out the deal. I need to, you know what I need to do? I need to zoom that in to see what it says, and I need to like get Flick to do me a quick transparent background of the chain so I can have it around my neck on some of my things. And if anybody asks, like,
he actually gave you the chain then?
Yeah, like the drone flies off with the chain. I mean, how much money he's making? He can give out gold chains like candy.
Because he's the lion.
He's a Snoop Dogg. He's a Snoop Lion. I don't think he ever took the name Lion, but he definitely became more kid friendly though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But then again, does he even have to make music anymore? Like, he could probably just subside off the royalties alone.
Alright. Yeah, I could probably make a ton of money out of the royalties and still.
Oh, so we are just getting the key right now, by the way, dear viewers. And I actually shit my pants right here because, like, I got the key, and remember, I'm underwater with no health, and I'm like, oh yes, we got the key, we're gonna end it. And I'm like, right, where's the way out? I thought it was there, and then, oh, I turn round, and it's like, whoa, hold on a minute, what's that? A Mirelurker Killclaw with a big skull on it? Oh god, oh no, it's getting in! It's getting in! Oh shit! And then I just had to, like, weave and bob my way out of there, and I just ran. I just was like, no, 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 please, look at my health, no, don't kill me, I need to eat a stim pack, I need to go right now, I've got the key, please don't kill me, I'm so close to being done with this, just, no, please, don't do it to me. So, yeah, that was a scary moment that happened. Oh yeah, and then it was throwing fireballs at me, and I'm just like, don't look back. Don't look back. Whatever you do, do not look back. If you turn round, you will die. Like, you think like all these crappy survival horrors that try and build fear is scary. No, have a giant like anglerfish and a giant killing crab just constantly chasing you with scary music, throwing fireballs. Oh, and there you go. That piece of shit just jumping in front of the camera like that. That's the true survival horror right there. And it's like, no, just run. Just keep running. Keep running through Silent Hill, through the mist. Please don't kill me, Mr. Anglerfish. I don't want to be fireballed by the anglerfish. Just keep moving. I can't look back. Don't look back. If you look back, you're going to die. And then you're going to go back to the Super Mutant Hotel. And you're going to have to get the key. And you're going to have to do it all again. So, yeah, that was a moment. But we did it. We outran the monsters. And we can just trail on over to the end. When you're not stuck on a rock.
Rock?
Yeah, I was trying to jump up the cliff to escape the anglerfish. And I got stuck on the cliff face for a moment.
Jeez, puro. Wait, there's anglerfish?
Yeah.
So what is it? It's Splatoon 2 or something?
No, it's the Far Harbor DLC. But all the enemies are like mutated creatures from the deep, so there's an anglerfish, it looks like an anglerfish, except it's got like legs and arms, and it like spits fireballs, and it can just run ridiculously fast. So you know what an anglerfish looks like. Imagine just like a giant 10-foot realistic looking anglerfish just charging at you through the darkness and the mist. It's like, oh fuck.
Those are the kind of nightmare-inducing monsters I expect from Fallout, but here we are with Fallout 76, and also the monsters are really evil.
I mean, me and Fiaura were bringing this up when we were saying about the harsh realities. And we were saying, like, there is, while some people like Todd Howard don't give a shit, there is at least one person that cares, and it's the guy that made Far Harbor. Like, Far Harbor is just so close to New Vegas. It gets the atmosphere and the monsters and the three different factions that do have consequences right. Like, Far Harbor came so close, and, like, I have to say, even with all the shit in New Vegas and 3, I still think Far Harbor is my favourite DLC out of all Fallout DLCs. Like, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, but what about that one in New Vegas? It's like, yeah, I mean, there's some good ones. There are some really good ones in New Vegas, but they just don't have that little extra push of Far Harbor. Like, if you could take Far Harbor how it is and just give it that little bit extra from New Vegas, it would be the perfect Fallout DLC. It'd be great.
But then again, they don't want to acknowledge Fallout New Vegas for some stupid reason.
Well, they do, because they just want to mess with the lore. Like, there's a letter from the Brotherhood of Steel that talks about something that happened in New Vegas, and it doesn't happen for another 80 years lore-wise. Like, they don't give a fuck about the lore anymore. And it's like, you know what isn't in 76, which I really wanted there to be?
What?
The intelligent death clause.
Intelligent death clause?
Yeah, originally, like, in Fallout 1 and 2, the death claws were actually hyper intelligent. Like, they were the smartest beings around, and basically the precursor to the Brotherhood of Steel, the Enclave, had to exterminate the intelligent death claws, or they would literally have won. They would have just killed everyone and taken over the world because they were that hyper intelligent. And it's like, I really want to see, like, the Enclave and the hyper intelligent death claws that can, like, speak human language and shit come back. But it's like, nah. You're gonna get that Binding of Isaac big fat meat man. And it's like, oh.
Okay, they're just stupid, I guess.
I mean, I know some of them are built in West Virginia mythology, like the Mothman, and Mothman looks good, or the moth creatures look good, but you know, some of the early shit, like the super mutants shouldn't be around, they should be the precursors. But it's like, you could have, like, put the precursors and the Enclave in there and the hyper intelligent death claws rather than all this shit. But anyway, I'm in a moment, once we do these little questions, I'm gonna turn the sound up, and we're gonna have to listen to what our lovely High Priest of the Child of Atom has to say for why we went and got this key. But yeah, so the law's just screwed now, and that's sad. But hey, I guess in 2 days we'll find out for real what's going on.
For for real.
Yeah, for reals is. Oh, speaking of real, like.
Yeah.
Hello. No, but speaking of like real, you know what I did in this video.
Real.
No, you know what I did in this video. Cause Flick was in this video. Like when they were talking, I've got a picture of Fiaura up, and I've got a picture of Flick's real form up. Like it's just constantly Skittle Flick. So like when he watches this video, he's going to see his Skittle. He's gonna see his Skittle form, and he's gonna be like, "Fuck you, Spyro." But here we go. Let's equip the Knuckles so we can see his face, and then let's take a save.
Oh yeah.
And let's talk to Tectus about the submarine.
The launch key for the sub's nukes. I wanted to ask you about it.
The key to division, yes. Reunion with Atom at the flick of a wrist. An object of true power. Lost to the ages, unfortunately. What did you wish to know?
Have you been searching for the key?
There was a time when we sought it more fervently. But after years of fruitless hunting, we took it as a sign. If Adam wanted us to have such a relic, he would make it so.
Oh, well, you know, I actually
If you had the
found
key,
that key.
would you use it to launch the nuke? To bring about division?
A question I've asked many a time. To experience instant rebirth as incalculable new worlds. Well, there are few gifts greater. But this island, Adam's kingdom, we have been given stewardship of this place. To abandon it, it would be an affront to everything he has granted us. Such a grand division. It is not our family's path.
Instant rebirth, you say? In a brand new world? Well, that certainly sounds like an interesting possibility. Given the real life reason why, I think you can see why we got this key. Because, you know, it's been fun as this character. It's been fun doing the committee with everybody, telling me where to go, what perks to buy. But maybe it's time for a change. Maybe the priest of Adam is right, and we should all experience the grand division together. Instant rebirth is an incalculable number of different realities, different worlds. It seems like this guy's got the right idea, and he has just told us that we can experience such division with the flick of a switch. So let's just see what he says if we give him the key.
This family owes you a great debt, but we must not lose focus. We cannot rest until Far Harbor is wiped from the map. But you have done well today.
And then I think it's time that we turn back the clock ever so slightly. We're gonna do a Weast from Dragon Ball Z. We're just gonna tap our staff. I can only take you back 3 minutes. 3 minutes is all I need, Weast. So yeah, we're just gonna turn the clock back 3 minutes, and we're just gonna let him have his talk about the division, and I think we'll
Hi, Confessor.
take him up on that
Hello,
offer.
my
We'll
child.
listen very carefully.
Was there something you required?
The division that you
The launch key.
The key
Oh
to
god,
division.
yeah.
Yes. Reunion with Atom at the flick of a wrist. What did you wish to know?
Yeah, let's
If you
let's
had the
just
key,
say would
you use it to launch the nuke? To bring about division?
A question I've asked many a time. To experience instant rebirth as incalculable new worlds. Well, There are few gifts greater, but this island, Adam's kingdom, we have been given stewardship of this place. To abandon it, it would be an affront to everything he has granted us. Such a grand division. It is not our family's path.
Oh, but I think it is, Tectus. I think it is.
Never mind.
I
May
think it is
Adam
time
guide
that we
your path.
experience a different reality, a different world. It is nuclear. It's clearly what Atom wants. You're not a true devotee to Atom, so don't worry. I'll do your job for you. Let's launch this. Let's launch this bad boy.
25 seconds to lockdown. 20 seconds to lockdown.
'Rebuild. Not just walls, not just buildings, but hearts and minds, and ultimately, America itself. So as we stand here today, we pray that the world will know peace. But if that is not our destiny, if war must come, we stand together knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.
Good morning, Vault 76. This is the Overseer. I hope you all enjoyed the party last night, even those who may have overindulged and overslept.